Misfits and dope addicts are here.
Rooster in Linden. Wants to know if his wife's cheating on him with Ray Parker Jr. in Linden.
Holy mackerel. Well, at least he's honest. You gotta hand it to him.
I suppose.
Ray Parker Jr. is an honest guy.
Born on this day in 1954.
He's fine. He's just fine.
He's fine.
He's 71. And he is that's possibly the stupidest song that we've played in months. Stupid.
Is it better than Ghostbusters though? Because Carrie said I can't play Ghostbusters.
I can't take it anymore.
I don't like Ghostbusters because it's ripped off Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
So we don't want to play that, and that'd be the only two, I guess.
No.
What else have we got from Ray Parker?
A woman needs love, just like you.
Oh yeah. Another
apparently
insanely stupid song.
Apparently, women are people.
Really?
Is what I learned from the song. they have thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
It's the damnedest thing.
Who knew?
Just like you do.
How about that?
I'm just trying to tell you dumb men out there
Don't kid
you may
yourself
not know.
into thinking that they
You
don't.
can be as successful with the ladies as me, Ray Parker Jr. You keep something in mind. Hey, guess what? They're people.
Oh God.
Honey, I'll always love you.
Is this radio or is this him?
Ray Parker Jr. and Radio.
Okay, yeah.
There's nothing you can do or say. I thought about this for many a day, and my mind's made up to feel this way. You can't change that.
So many of these songs are sort of vaguely reminiscent of somebody else's work.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't quite place what this is, but it's like a hit from the 60s.
Well, he'd been around. I mean, like, he played with a lot of people.
He did.
Like,
And your point being?
meaning if he was influenced by earlier things he did. Like, he played with Gladys Knight and the Spinners and the Temptations, and, like, he played guitar for all of them. So maybe that's what you're hearing, is what I'm saying.
I'm hearing him sort of ripping off other people. That's what I'm hearing. What's Ray doing these days?
I don't know.
Kicking horse turds down the road.
Probably doesn't
Let's
need to
see.
be working with the Ghostbusters money.
Let's see. Well,
Or did he get the Ghostbusters? Or did Huey get the Ghostbusters money?
Huey did, I believe.
This is terrible, whatever this
Yeah,
is.
this is bad.
They reached a settlement out of court so Huey Lewis, Ray Parker, and they reached a settlement out of court, forbade them from revealing any information about the amount of money. And I want a new drug.
Ghostbusters!
Even the tone of it sounds the same.
Ghostbusters!
And I think Huey needs the money. So pay him.
Yes, for his surgeries and treatments and all of that.
He's getting a sex change, isn't he?
No,
Huey Lewis. Isn't that he needs the money for that?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's what I read. He's getting
Huey
Lewis
needs
is
a sex change,
he's getting a
just
sex
like
change.
you do. Ray Parker Jr. also wrote Leo Sayers' "You Make Me Feel Like Dancing." I feel like dancing.
Yeah, well,
Woo,
that tracks.
dancing. Woo.
It doesn't really say what he's doing right now.
He's 71. He doesn't got to do anything.
There's no mention of him after the 2009.
Maybe he's just, playing golf.
Oh, he made some money from selling some of his songs for ringtones.
For ringtones?
Yeah.
I'm the ringtone guy.
I wrote that. You're sitting in a restaurant and somebody's phone goes off. I wrote that. I get 2 cents for that every time someone calls you. Oh, an actual mashup.
This is an actual mashup.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it works.
I want a new sex. I'm going to turn into...
Yep, give me some money for that.
Yep. Well,
There was but then Ray Parker sued Huey Lewis after the settlement was reached. They all agreed there was a third party involved, some company or something. They all agreed as part of the settlement, we don't talk about it.
Oh,
we will not talk about
okay.
the amount of money.
Don't
we won't
ask.
talk about the settlement.
Any
how
of
it
it.
turned out, nothing. Well, apparently a year later, Ray Parker.
Ray couldn't shut up.
Huey couldn't shut up.
Oh.
Huey and Ray Parker Jr. sued Huey Lewis, although it doesn't say that was successful. It just said he sued him.
Yep. It's obvious.
Yeah. I didn't realize. Honest, I didn't. I didn't know. That's possible, I suppose. George Harrison being sued for, he's so fine and my sweet Lord.
Yeah.
And George Harrison, when I seem to recall in court going, I just didn't hear it. I didn't. And he said, you're right. It's the same thing.
It is.
This has been Farting Around with Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96, Radio from Hell.
All right. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and chat with you, I hope, on the phone. Check in with us. 877-602-9696 is the number. We like to hear from you in the morning. Check in with the Radio from Hell show. Let us know you're there. Let us know that you're ready for a show. You could also text us if you prefer to do that, although we do like to hear from you on the phone.
Yes.
But the text line is there. 33986 is that number.
All right. Harmon's for Mother's Day.
They have everything. You don't need to go
Nope.
anywhere else.
Well, I mean, year-round, not just for holidays, but year-round they have flowers, a wonderful flower department.
Beautiful seasonal blooms. Now, they have pre-made arrangements, which I buy all the time. They're great. But if you know Mom's favorite flower, they'll custom make you a bouquet for her.
Mother's Day is a wonderful holiday, and it's a wonderful way to honor Mother. And if you go to the grocery store, go to Harmon's grocery store, you can get those beautiful flowers. You can get bakery items for a brunch. I used to get my mother a bag of rice and a bottle of sriracha.
It's
every
whatever
Mother's
she
Day.
likes.
So they had that too. So it's
You know what they have there? The olive bar.
Yeah.
Where you can go and pick out Mom's favorite olives. I'm not kidding.
For the charcuterie.
I had some olives from Harmon's the other day that I wish my mother had been around to share them with. They were so delicious. Harmon's Grocery for Mother's Day. Go there.
Hey.
So do I.
Because I'm heading to Rock Springs.
Wyoming.
Rock Springs, Wyoming.
You know what they say about Rock Springs.
What do they say?
The two most beautiful sights in Wyoming are the Grand Teton Mountains and Rock Springs in your rearview mirror.
Well, I'm heading to Rock Springs because it's the 2024 National High School Finals Rodeo
Wow.
happening in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my cousin Jubal, Jubal is Uncle Pat's son.
What a surprise.
I know you're surprised. You guys know Uncle Pat.
Yeah, he's a rodeo stock guy.
Yeah. This is my cowboy side of the family. Jubal's son has been selected by the state of California to represent the state of California in Saddle Bronc. So I'm driving 3 hours for an 8-second event.
Can't you catch a plane?
No, they don't allow planes in Rock Springs.
Now I thought it was interesting. So it's days at 47 here. Everybody's got it's
Yeah.
rodeo time. It's kids.
They were herding cattle downtown.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Spencer Cox, the governor, and Abby were herding cattle.
Were cattle?
Yeah.
Oh.
And more than one person sent me this list. And it's a directory from a children's rodeo in Utah, and it's the names of the kids that are entered to win. I'm not going to read their last names, but the comment is, kids that participate in rodeo have unusual names. Here's some boy names on the list: McCoy, Hayes, Bronc,
Yeah.
That's a little
Ray Gun, Raygun, Ray Gun.
Why?
Cutter, Quaylen, not Waylon.
Quaylen?
Quaylen,
It's almost like Quaalude.
Who would do that?
Tibbs.
Tibbs?
Tibbs.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Oh, Tibbs.
Those are some boy names. Some girl names: Swayze, Remington,
Oh, boy.
Cashin, Shindy,
Oh, no.
Shindy. Carly Joe's cute. Oakley, Dally Joe, Taisley, Tayzlee, Taisley, Paislin, Tenley, Mercedes, Mercadeez.
Oh, no.
Now, if Katie, do you have the picture I sent you? So this is a picture of my cousin Jubal's son riding in a rodeo in California before he came out here. X96.com/live.
He's performing wearing his cowboy costume.
Yes.
Now, so Jubal is Pat's kid.
Yeah. So
and he has a kid.
he has a kid, and his name is Rowdy.
Rowdy. Okay.
Rowdy Russell.
Sure.
And
Rowdy.
that's like
Okay.
birth certificate name.
No,
Rowdy.
no, Gina, I believe you.
It's the
I believe
perfect
you.
name for someone that made it to the National High School Rodeos final.
That was Clint Eastwood's name in his first big role when he was on Wagon Train.
Oh, I
His
didn't
name
know that.
His name was Rowdy Yates.
Rowdy Yates.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Rawhide.
Rawhide, yeah.
Head them up, move them out.
Was it Rawhide?
Yeah.
Not Wagon Train.
The old favorite, Rowdy Yates.
So I am headed up to I will have stories, I'm sure, from Rock Springs from the National High School Finals
Sure you
rodeo.
can't fly up?
No,
No.
No?
No, there are no plane service in Rock Springs.
All right.
driving to Rock Springs for
where
8 seconds. It's 8
where
seconds.
it's where the first Little America was. You
Listen,
know?
I would have thought that of all the people I know, that you'd have connections to fly.
To fly there?
So,
Yeah, like with Sky King
Or
in the
something.
Songbird.
Yeah.
yeah, something.
Three nine eight six.
All right, let's get this over with at 6:21.
Indeed, let's do that. Let's get it over with. We will go to your check-ins at 877-602-9696 or text check-ins 33986 after we officially check in, or officially begin the show. What do we got, Gina? Sponsor here?
Jerry Seiner Cadillac celebrates their new location with an incredible buying experience for your dream car. Come in today to experience the Seiner difference.
The moon 19.2% of full. It's a waxing crescent moon. We will have the moon today. The moon will rise at 9:19 a.m. today, being Thursday. It's the first day of May in the year of our Lord
May Day.
in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025. And as Gina was so eager to say, it's May Day. May Day comes. By the way, you know, as a when you're asking for help, you know why you say May Day? It comes from a French phrase, m'aider, aid me, aider.
Well, there's an apostrophe in there.
Yeah, there's a M apostrophe aides, aider. So help me, it means. So that's why you say May Day. It's American Cheese Month. You know, Kraft American cheese slices have 51% of real cheese in them. I don't know what the rest of it is. But, it's Save the Rhino Day, Chocolate Parfait Day. Oh, I should have seen this earlier. It's Phone In Sick Day.
Oh,
I could have done that. So you guys still have a chance, by the way. Go ahead, phone in sick. And it's a National Mantra Day. If you have a mantra, it was likely given to you by your guru, right?
I don't
you
have
well,
a
naturally.
guru.
Yeah, if you
I
have
need a guru.
you need a guru.
You need one.
And this is an all-new edition of the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio. It's Kerry Jackson. I'm Bill Allred. That over there is Gina Barberi. Katie, for short, is our fine producer. We have Maya. Is that Maya?
Yes.
Hi, Maya. And we have there's a dog in the producer's booth as well. His name is Vax, and he's working on his paw. Got to get that. Get between the toes.
Get after that.
Between the toes. There you go. All right, we'll go to check-ins now.
All right. 877-602-9696 is the number to call if you want to check in. Billy, let's see, Bill really hates Ray Parker Jr., LOL.
Pretty much.
What did he do to you, Bill?
I don't know.
Those songs.
Oh,
Right Wing Wade checking in. Mike in Nashville, happy May Day. My favorite Huey Lewis thing is when he and Weird Al recorded the living room scene from American Psycho.
oh, I've never seen that.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Ella the Nanny checking in. Thanks for letting me listen. A. Arlo Gumby checking in for my cheese box on my way to get the skids to school. See, voice to text is it's not your friend. Batchman Justin ready for the show. Dan of Evanston. Meshach of Erda checking in, trying to drag myself out of bed after a perfect temperature sleep night.
Isn't that the best?
Great.
When it's you got the window open, it's it's not too cold, not too warm.
Librarian Christine checking in from Butte, Montana. Let's see, groundskeeper Bob checking in. Thank you, Gina, for the positivity of the program.
Yeah, Gina always has a positive spin on things.
I try.
Well, you know, maybe Ray Parker, you know, he used to play with maybe. Always a positive spin.
Let's see. Good morning, Lords. Jocelyn from Sandy checking in. Still thinking about that Caro pancake syrup. You should try it if you have the chance. Well, I don't know what it is.
I'd rather have just real
Bring us
maple
some.
syrup.
Bring us some.
Real maple syrup.
Bus driver Troy checking in. Cardboard Chris checking in. Johnny B checking in, listening while I remember that it sucked to live in a small town. Hey, is anyone going to Menden's May Day celebration this Saturday?
Mendon, Utah? No,
guess.
I'm not. I've been, and it's a bust every year. I'm not going this time.
Long-time caller, first-time listener Adam here. Excited to see the Silver Sun pickups tonight.
Oh yeah.
3 Tabby Curtis checking in.
3. Oh, my.
Sleepy Elijah checking in. We're over the hump, Lords.
Are we?
Yeah, it's on the downslope. Yeah, we've got
Okay.
today and tomorrow.
Okay.
988 for those who need to hear it. I don't know.
I don't know what
is.
that. Carrie, you
988?
just gave out some code, and you
Could
don't
be
know what
some
it
secret
is.
code. I don't know what it is.
Well, 9988 is the suicide prevention line.
Michaela Verino checking in. Kilroy was here checking in from the most pleasant of groves. The Mandalay Octuplets checking in.
Well,
Are they a singing group?
I guess. What if they're all like connected or something?
that song you played yesterday, Potato Salad, that was by the Somebody Triplets. And I was trying to think of the name of the singing group. And
Well, these are the Mandalay Octuplets.
Yeah.
Good morning, Braden checking in from Sandy. Glad to be a listener of such a wonderful radio program. Woodworker Willie, I wanted a new drug, one that helps my chronic pain.
Sorry.
Tristan from the most west of Jordan's checking in.
The Ross sisters,
Is it Ross?
The Ross sisters.
the Betsy Ann, Veda, and Dixie.
And they're triplets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sore listener checking in, recovering from a vasectomy I had yesterday.
Oh.
It was super quick. Anyway, minimal discomfort. Go get snipped. Cindy of Sunset checking in. Jocelyn from Sandy checking in. I'm still thinking about that Caro syrup pancake.
Like what?
I don't know.
You gotta try it, I guess.
Austin of North Ogden checking in. Headed to the Delta Center to work on the renovation.
Yeah, they started ripping it up.
Did they?
Yeah.
Patrick, the friendly neighborhood middle school teacher, checking in. Dick, that's not a Richard, checking in from the westest of valleys.
Don't be such a Richard.
First time check in. Wish I could have known about the national call-in sick day sooner. I'm not ready for today's
Yeah,
crap.
we should have highlighted that yesterday so you knew.
Metal Shop Mark. My mantra has been STFU Donnie for the past 10 years. Doesn't seem to be working. Good morning, lords and lady. Meg the musician checking in. Mixer driver Shane. Attorney Thomas heading to court. Everybody's here. Let's go.
Yeah, Caro syrup. They make a pancake maple syrup.
Crash at the top of the on-ramp from Park Lane in Farmington to go northbound I-15. The right lane of the ramp and left shoulder of the main flow are blocked. It's also in a construction zone, so there's already slowing in that area. Right Wing Wade says checking in from I-15 accident northbound between Farmington and Kaysville. See, well, Wade's out there. He knows what's going on. Do you know what's going on? Well, text us and let us know. 33986.
All right, we're going to take a break, play a song for you, and after the song, it's Big Boy News and Opinioendo, and Frank Christ presents the Dead Celebrity Game. We'll get to that game, tell you how to play, what you'll win, all coming up. Stand by for all of that.
Salt Lake Tribune, the headlines that come through in my email, and Cody D and Forgash are going off the air.
Our old friend Cody D.
Cody Dangle. Their show Maximum Distortion on KSL.
Yeah, right.
KSL has a different kind of maximum distortion. KRCL. They almost 10 years. Is that right?
No, 19.
19 years. 19 years they've been doing maximum distortion.
Because I've got a Maximum Distortion hoodie that's older than 10 years, so I know.
It's and it's like, what is it, like 4 hours once a week? Something like that?
I don't think it's 4 hours.
They do the show it starts at 10 p.m. and they play,
10 to midnight.
10 to midnight. They play, head-banging metal.
Heavy metal.
Yeah. And the reason that they're not going to be doing the show anymore?
Why?
Because Forgash is moving.
That's it?
Yeah. It seems to me like they ought to be able to work something
I was going to
out.
say, you're at home right now.
Yeah.
And then there are morning shows where one guy's in L.A. and another guy's in Seattle, and, it can be done, you guys.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's they both say they'd like to keep doing it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm surprised Cody didn't call one of us.
Yeah.
You want to come and do a show with me for a couple hours?
Cody could continue doing it, right?
You would think.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
I don't like radio shows going away.
Oh, I like some of them going away.
No. See, they've all gone away. I don't know who's left. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't. Well, Steve Williams, the jazz guy, he still does. I think he still does the show on KRCL, but he moved to Chicago, which is where he's from.
I was telling Carrie this right when we got off the air yesterday. When I went to Nashville, and part of that was learning about the Grand Ole Opry. Oh, which side note, Opryland, the amusement park's been closed for years. It's a separate
But
thing.
there was
There was, yeah.
Okay.
Like back in the 90s or something, it closed. But the Grand Ole Opry started at a radio station, and they would have live people come down and fiddle on the air. And it grew and grew and grew, and it's still going since 1925. And it made me wish for the radio that we would do when we would have specialty shows on this station, like a punk show or a
Get
locals
Up,
only
Stand
show. Or I used to do Extra Hard or
The
Loud
reggae show, the
reggae
reggae show on Sunday morning.
But I wish there were a way, because we have this great building here, this Broadway Media Tower, and downstairs
Is it still there?
it's here.
I haven't been down there for a while.
Downstairs on the first level, we had this club called 50 West, and the idea was it was going to be this usable space that we could do all kinds of different events and things at. And I just, as I'm in Nashville hearing about the Grand Ole Opry, I'm thinking, how cool would it be to have this space downstairs where we have like a weekly local show that we broadcasted on the air? Like local bands come in, we play, it's downstairs, people come watch it, but you can hear it on the radio, a live music program on the radio. We could do something like that. We won't, but we could do something. It would be, it would make us different from your Spotify's. And
I think, unfortunately, though, there's not. Part of the problem is there's not an audience for it.
How would there not be an audience for that?
Because you got your Spotify and you got your people listen to,
I don't know. Like, I look at what Kilby Court has done, gone from a small local music venue, and they're still there, and they still do that, but then they also do the Kilby Block Party. They haven't quit being Kilby Court. They haven't quit promoting local bands there. I think there is an audience for it. I think there's a way to do it.
I don't know. It's, it's just the state of radio business in general is that just the audience is too fractured. It's, they have so many other outlets. You've got to do something. Well, and I don't know.
I disagree. So part of what we did one day in Nashville was they have these listening rooms. Mm-hmm. This is not a big concert venue.
Okay.
It's a place about the size of 50 West downstairs. Probably could fit 100 people, 150 people in there. And it is just a rotating list of people that sign up for, hey, I'd like to come in and perform. And this place was packed. Now, it's packed because it's Nashville and tourists go there expecting to hear music. But nobody on that stage is anybody ever heard of. Mm-hmm. You're just going because you're a fan of music and you want to see it. I think there's a place for it.
My kids who are teenagers go to backyard concerts all the time. They wish they had venues that they could go to watch local bands play.
Well,
I think there's
Gina, why don't you buy the space and start it up?
Because, I mean, like I said, Kilby kind of does that, but we have such a unique opportunity here in this building. We're a radio station that has a space downstairs. Mm-hmm. It could be, I don't know.
I think they filled that in with cement.
Did they? No. Is that why we have the shortage?
That's why we have the shortage. Yeah, the cement. They filled it up with cement. No, actually, there's.
It's Tabernacle down there.
Yeah, it's the Tabernacle, which is only open on the weekends, I think.
There's opportunities here, I think.
Anybody got on the radio in the early days of radio was
who's
a very
gonna
big
do it?
star.
Here's the thing, Gina. I tried to do that. I tried to do all those things.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the Tabernacle now.
Oh, it's.
Couldn't get it off the ground.
I don't.
Couldn't get it off the
think
ground.
there's a place.
I did a bunch of events there for a couple of years, news related, and they were fairly well attended for the most part.
Yeah. But these are not the people that make the decisions of whether they continue to do things down there. See all those ideas that you had to do down there?
Yeah.
If we called them a podcast, then people would attend. It's radio, they don't care.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same thing.
Yeah. In honor of the saxophone player for Haircut 100, it's his birthday today, Phil Smith, with a particularly saxophony Haircut 100 song.
All right. 6:37 right now. Big Boy News and Opinioendo. Then right after that, it's Frank Christ presents They're Fine, They're Just Fine, the Dead Celebrity Game. Going to give you a list of 4 celebrity names. 3 of those celebrities are just fine. One of them is dead. If you pick the dead one correctly, you will win.
Tickets to see The Used on May 6th.
Before I do the news, I need to have a sip of Mill Creek coffee. Mill Creek is. Have you got yours? There you go.
Gotta shake it up.
There we go. Now I'm set. Now I'm ready to go.
Now you can do the news.
Now I'm ready. The Secret Life of Partners, Volume 2. That's not what that's called.
What do you... What?
It's Barbara Streisand
Yes.
is doing what may be her final album. It's been officially announced. It's an album of duets. And I guess it is called The Secret of Life, Partners, Volume 2.
Have another sip of Mill Creek coffee.
No, that's what it's called. The Secret of Life, Partners, Volume 2.
All right.
Because it's all duets. Paul McCartney, Sting, James Taylor, Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande, and Bob Dylan, and Seal are all featured on the record. The first single is a cover of Roberta Flack's The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face with Hozier. So there it looks like, there's a lot of interesting stuff on here. James Taylor, Sting, Sam Smith, and Hozier. That's interesting. So anyway, that'll be out soon. Barbara Streisand's duets. I saw somebody in the a chat room where somebody in texting said, "Did you feel the earthquake this morning?"
I saw a couple people mention that.
There was an earthquake this morning, and the only reason I know that is I have an earthquake notification on my phone, and it was about 12:11 this morning, and it was in some place called Independence, Utah, and I think that's sort of south of here, probably in the mountains, and it was pretty big. I mean, it was a 2.93 earthquake, I think. And some people did apparently feel it this morning.
Independence is a town in Wasatch County.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of in the mountains then. Well,
it's southeast of Heber.
Yeah, okay, good. So here we go. Congratulations. Dozens of students staged a walkout at Murray High School to protest the new state law that restricts the types of flags that can be displayed in Utah classrooms and government buildings. Way to go. Many students shared how the law is a form of censorship that goes against their First Amendment rights.
Yep.
Through word of mouth and social media, the students learned about the walkout and participated. They aren't happy that pride flags are among those banned by the new law. 16-year-old student Daniel Whalen was the driving force behind the protest. Somebody asked, "What can we do?" And then someone got the idea, well, we should have a walkout.
Good
and
for
I
you,
I
Daniel.
took that seriously, Mr. Whalen said. If we think it, we can do it. Mr. Whalen believes the turnout for the protest shows that he and his fellow students have been paying attention in U.S. history class. The Americans in the past who stood up and fought for their own rights, I really think that's what it is to be an American, he said.
Amen.
Willing to stand up even when it's inconvenient. I have rights. My neighbor has rights. My family has rights, and we're going to fight for it. Leo Robertson, who identifies as a transgender male, walked out of school along with his identical twin, Christy. He thinks that at some point the politicians will reverse course on pride flags. I don't think it'll work, just this one protest, but I do think it will take a couple of times to get it to work, but I do think it will work because we're all kids. Nobody can say no to kids. There was also
I love these kids.
There was also the pride that student protesters took in simply taking action to make their voice heard by policymakers. It's not just watching the news, Whalen said. It's not just online, or it's not just talking to your family. You're out there actively being involved, actively telling people what you think, and actively enforcing the values we hold so close to our hearts. Well, Lone Peak police have identified skeletal remains found in Lambert Park last Friday as one Gabriella McKenna Schull of Alpine, Utah. Investigators were able to confirm the identity through dental records. The remains were found in Lambert Park by a person who was riding on horseback through the park. The park is located in Alpine. It's in an area that's largely undeveloped and used for biking and equestrian and hiking and that sort of thing. Gabrielle, according to police, went missing from her home in January of 2024, and while many searches were conducted in and around Lambert Park at the time, she just wasn't found. More time needed for detectives to complete their investigation, but they say at this time foul play is not suspected in her death. Police shared their thoughts with Gabrielle's family at this time. Gabriella's family released a statement saying Gabby's sweet personality has been and will continue to be greatly missed. Our family is grateful her remains were found, and also to the many, many people who helped in trying to find her. Well, this man was arrested in Tooele County after allegedly tying two men up and threatening them because they unknowingly rode their motorcycles on a Native American reservation over the weekend. Two motorcyclists told police they were exploring the West Desert area of Tooele Saturday evening. They had stopped and were discussing where to go to set up a camp for the night. They said a man in a pickup truck pulled up and accosted them and yelled at them and told them to get down on the ground. They both, and this is what's written here, they both lied down.
Who wrote that?
I don't know.
Who wrote that?
They both lied down.
Even the computer got it wrong.
Oh, no, this is attributed to, what's this guy's name? Somebody at Fox. Here's a picture of him, but it doesn't have his name. It says they both lied down on the ground and said that when they tried to lift their heads up, the man told them to keep their faces on the ground or he would kick them. The man then allegedly zip-tied their hands and ankles. A second man then arrived and threatened them with a knife. The victim said their valuables were stolen, including their bikes. The victim's zip ties were removed. Then they were driven out to a remote location and dropped off to, quote, fend for themselves. The men said they had to walk 6 or 7 hours until they reached the gate of the Dugway Proving Ground for help. According to police, a member of the Skull Valley Band of the Goshoot Indian Tribe called the Tooele County Sheriff's Office and told them that his friend, later identified as Russell Allen, told him he had two men detained. After the men got in touch with law enforcement, one of them tracked an Apple AirTag that he had on his motorcycle. The police went to the geolocation of the AirTag, found the motorcycle's other items in a maintenance shed on the Skull Valley Reservation, and they were able to identify the suspects. And there's a warrant out. I guess the guy hasn't been found yet for Mr. Allen's arrest. He's been charged with kidnapping while within Indian country, assault within Indian country, and theft within Indian country. So there you go. Trump Town Hall. He took questions on Wednesday night as he phoned into a News Nation Town Hall event moderated by Chris Cuomo, Bill O'Reilly, and Stephen A. Smith.
Yep.
O'Reilly said he had a question from a tough guy named Lee Shapiro. What's the biggest mistake you think you've made in your first 100 days? Trump's answer was decidedly on brand. I'll tell you, that's the toughest question I could have because I don't really believe I've made any mistakes.
He doesn't.
No. The audience immediately started laughing.
Yeah.
I think Lee is reassured, O'Reilly said with a grin. We're in a transition period, said Trump. Tremendous economic victories over the next year. We're going to make millions and billions of dollars, but it takes a little while. That doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen much faster than people understand. Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you're at the bottom and you got nowhere to go but up, of course you're going to say you earned.
The Trump on Wednesday acknowledged that his tariffs could result in lower and costlier products in the United States.
Yeah.
Saying American kids might have to have $2 instead of $30.
That's not what it means at
He
all.
insisted China will suffer more from his trade war.
And if Joe Biden had said that about the dolls, boy.
Trump was quick to blame his Democratic predecessor, Joe Biden, for any setbacks, while telling his cabinet that his tariffs meant China was having tremendous difficulty because their factories are not doing business.
So the economy was booming before he got elected, and he took credit for that.
For 30 months, it was growing.
He took credit for that.
Yeah.
Now he's been in office for 100 days, and he's blaming Biden for bad news.
Well, that's because Biden was there for that last quarter. These are numbers from the last quarter.
And you know things are expected to get bad because he also said, and if things are bad next quarter, that's Biden's fault too, because it takes a while to turn it. So he's already anticipating things being bad.
How can you still support this man?
There's nothing he can do or say, Carrie, that will change that.
The Homeland Security Secretary, Barbie doll Kristi Noem, and her top advisor, Corey Lewandowski, are known to have a close relationship.
Yeah.
And now the Daily Mail can reveal how the extraordinary coziness between Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski extends as far as their private living arrangements. The brazen pair, both married to other people, are residing in very posh rental apartments across the street from one another in D.C.'s fashionable Navy Yard neighborhood. Lewandowski is a regular visitor to Kristi Noem's $3,750 a month two-bed condo that enjoys breathtaking panoramic views of southeast Washington and the Anacostia River. And he doesn't have far to travel because his own very deluxe apartment is directly across the street. I've seen them together both in the elevator and in common areas, one resident of Noem's building told the Daily Mail. Don't forget, Washington, D.C. is a small town and people talk. It's an open secret that they're together.
Yeah.
It's always been joked about that the Navy Yard is a dorm for Hill Republicans and Trump staffers, and now it's even higher up, with married cabinet secretaries bunking down with their volunteer chiefs.
But if you're an attorney prosecuting the Trump campaign and you have a boyfriend that works with you, that's a problem.
Yep.
A judge is considering whether to fine the Utah High School Activities Association in contempt of court for abiding by an executive order issued by President Trump in contradiction of an injunction issued over transgender student athletes in Utah. The High School Athletics Association oversees high school sports for public schools in the state, is under an injunction issued by the 3rd District Court, Judge Keith Kelly, in a 2022 lawsuit filed over Utah's ban on transgender athletes participating in school sports consistent with their gender identity. The injunction blocks the ban from being enforced. But earlier this year, Trump issued an executive order banning transgender girls from playing school sports, matching their identity. We are in the middle of a rapidly evolving situation. It's something that perhaps no one saw coming in 2022, Judge Kelly told lawyers on Wednesday. But there's an executive order in place, and I need to understand and apply the law. So I don't know what he means by that exactly. Is he going to say that his injunction is no longer in force, or that the Trump...
We're going to stop these thousands and thousands
No.
of trans kids
No.
from playing sports,
There
man.
There are thousands of them.
Thousands of
Thousands.
them.
there are.
Easily 100,000.
Yeah.
Easily.
A powerful storm downed trees and power lines, leaving over more than 500,000 customers in Pennsylvania and Ohio and neighboring states without power in the dark on Wednesday morning. More than 440,000 customers were without power in Pennsylvania, another 50,000 in the dark in Ohio. There's nothing wrong with the climate. Nothing wrong at all.
No, everything's fine.
Finally, this story. An invasive species of crab that's native to East Asia and is known for its ability to climb vertical structures. They can climb up walls, have been found in U.S. waters.
Oh.
The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife announced a Chinese mitten crab, which has been prohibited.
Sounds cute. A mitten crab.
Which have you seen a picture of them?
No.
But it sounds cute.
They sound adorable.
Not cute. They have been prohibited in Oregon for over a decade. One was caught earlier this month by a person fishing in the lower Columbia River in the central region of the state. This species of crab was outlawed in the state due to its aggressive and highly adaptive nature, which can damage ecosystems and displace other species. Wildlife officials said this marks the first time a Chinese mitten crab has ever been confirmed in the U.S. Pacific Northwest, and suspect that this individual crab may have been illegally placed in the river by a human. And they're really nasty buggers, and they're not good looking either.
Their claws they got something on them that looks furry.
Yeah.
They got
They're
mittens.
Yeah, they look like mittens.
They're little.
I mean, they look like brown crabs.
They're kind of hairs.
But yeah,
They're disgusting.
strange looking.
All right, that's it.
All right, sports weather traffic.
Jeff Spearbeck, a close friend and business associate of John Elway, died Wednesday morning, little more than 3 days after he fell off a golf cart driven by retired Denver Broncos quarterback John Elway.
Wasn't he his manager
Yep.
or something?
The incident occurred Saturday at the gated golf community where Elway owns a home. Elway was driving after he and Spurbeck attended the Stagecoach Music Festival. He was sitting on the back, and he fell off and hit his head. He was his agent, his manager. They are investigating it. I mean, it's an accident, but but weird.
Or is it?
Yeah. In the NBA, yeah.
See?
In
That
the
tells
NBA
me it might not be an accident.
In the NBA, I knew the Lakers lost because I saw Flea on Twitter just beside himself because they're out. they're out now. They lost to the Timberwolves 103-96. You had the Rockets over the Warriors 131-116. The Nuggets over the Clippers 131-115. Oh, that was on Tuesday, so we just had those two yesterday. Today we got the Knicks and the Pistons and the Nuggets and the Clippers. In the NHL, yesterday the Jets over the Blues, Panthers over the Lightning, and the Capitals over the Canadiens. Tonight you've got the Maple Leafs and the Senators, Golden Knights and the Wild, and the Avalanche and the Stars. Dallas leads that series 3-2. Weather. Beautiful day today, sunny, high of 68. Tomorrow, even warmer, 77 expected tomorrow, 82 on Saturday. So we have a big warm-up over the next few days. Next chance for showers looks like Saturday night into Sunday, and then those showers stick around for the first part of next week. Traffic, we have a crash at the top of the on-ramp from Park Lane in Farmington to go northbound I-15. And that's the only accident that's UDOT's reporting. Let me check our message stream, see if Infiniteam has sent in anything. Nope, just want to talk about mitten crabs. So if you'd like to chat about that or traffic or anything else, you can text us at 33986. Business owners, do you owe $15,000 or more in employment taxes and don't know what to do? McClure and Stewart, your local trusted tax attorneys. Go to McClureandStewart.com today.
Frank, hi.
Oh, hello, everyone.
You came in the other way. I didn't see you.
Snuck up right behind you, didn't he?
No kidding.
I got to remember not to do that.
It's a little startling. I mean,
Yes.
have a skeleton right behind you and not know it.
I keep forgetting.
But I do thank you for always carrying your own music with you so that we know that you're coming.
It's a JBL.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a very nice sound. Frank Christ is a Grim Reaper. He is the Reaper of the souls of precious, precious celebrities only. That's his specialty. And it's a curse, too, isn't it?
Oh, because I love our precious celebrities.
I do, too.
Well,
Everything they say and do is right.
I know. Frank is, as you would expect a Grim Reaper to be, a skeletal figure wearing a robe with a hood. And I think it's quite rather stylish the way you throw the hood over your helmet, your scooter helmet.
Thank you.
there.
It's a little something I'm trying.
It looks nice. I like that. Frank has a scythe, and whenever a celebrity dies, Frank is called to the scene to take that celebrity's soul off to the distribution center, and it makes him very sad.
Because I love our precious celebrities, don't you?
I do. We play
each and every one of them are so important.
They are. We play
Except for John Schneider.
Well, that's true. And what's his name? Kevin Sorbo.
And Sorbo.
Yes,
Yeah.
Snyder and Sorbo.
Yeah.
Listen, Frank joins us to play this game. It's a macabre game we call Frank Chris Presents.
They're fine. They're just fine.
He's given me a list of actors, 4 actors. 3 of them on the list are.
Just fine.
But one of them Frank has taken, and it's very painful to have to do that.
Yes.
We have a contestant.
Cassidy.
Cassidy, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, just fine.
That's good. Cassidy, if you can identify the dead celebrity on this list, you will win what, Gina?
Tickets to see The Used. They're playing 3 shows at the Union Event Center, but these tickets are specifically for the May 6th show.
All right, Cassidy, because it's National Mantra Day, and if you have a mantra, it was likely given to you by a guru. Frank has given me a list of actors in movies that have gurus in them. All right? Identify the dead celebrity, and you'll win the Used tickets. Number 1, Martin Cove. He was Nero the Hero in Death Race 2000, Clem in White Line Fever. He was a regular on the TV series Cagney and Lacey, and he appeared in Rambo First Blood 2. Cove was the main antagonist of all the Karate Kid movies, and of course the guru there was Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid. Number 1, Martin Cove. Number 2 is Bill Irwin. His first performing love was clowning and the circus. He also won a Tony Award, though, for his role in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf on Broadway, also known as Mr. Noodle on the Sesame Street segment Elmo's World, and he appeared in the Sesame Street film short Does Air Move Things? He was in Across the Universe that has themes of guru messages of peace and love. Number 2, Bill Irwin. Number 3 is Jack Nance. His most famous role was Henry in David Lynch's Eraserhead. He was in many, many, many David Lynch movies and also on TV in Twin Peaks. He was in the Suicidal Tendencies video for Institutionalized. And he was in the original movie Dune, in which Paul Atreides becomes a messianic guru. Number 3, Jack Nance. And finally, number 4, Patty McCormick. She was the murderous young girl in the stage and film versions of The Bad Seed. She was Helen Keller in the original TV production of The Miracle Worker. She was Jeffrey Tambor's wife on the ABC sitcom The Ropers, Adriana Lacerva's mother in The Sopranos, and as a Pat Nixon in Frost Nixon. She was in a movie called The Master, a movie about the guru founder of a religion much like Scientology called The Cause. Number 4, Patty McCormick. All right, one of them is dead. Which one is it, Cassidy?
Is it Jack Nance?
It is.
Well done.
Well done. Very well done.
Very good.
Jack Nance, he died in 1996 at the age of 53. Did you guess or did you know that, Cassidy?
He's a silent Googler.
I just kind of guessed.
Okay. Well, Cassidy, you're going to go see The Used. Congratulations.
Perfect. I'm excited. I love the use.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Cassidy. Hang on, and Katie will tell you what to do next. Yeah, Patty McCormick, because she's been around. She's 79.
It's true. Well-
Martin Cove is
Who
79.
are you going to check on today, Frank?
Well, I'm going to go check on Ray Parker Jr., of
Oh,
course,
okay.
71 today. But I am going to check on Judy Collins,
Oh.
86 today.
Oh, my.
You know, I look at her from both sides now.
Well,
It was very insulting the last time I checked on her, though.
why? What'd she do?
She was practicing Send in the Clowns.
Uh-huh.
And I walked in the door, and then she goes, "Don't bother, they're here." I didn't know whether to be insulted or whether that was a coincidence or not. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Frank.
Crash at the top of the on-ramp from Park Lane in Farmington to go northbound I-15. That is a construction zone, too, so it's causing a little additional slowing through that area. That's all that UDOT's reporting, and that's all that you're reporting, too. But if you see something, you can let us know. 33986. See movies on the big screen at local nonprofit Broadway Center cinemas. This weekend, check out La La Land and Moonlight. These films will be forever linked together. See both this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Get tickets and showtimes at slfstix.org.
All right. KXRK Provo. We're going to take a break. We'll have some geek news for you after this. And then, of course, boner of the day. And then as soon as we award the boner, the phone lines will be open. The X-Poll question being, start thinking about it now. Don't participate yet. Think about it. Get ready to. What is something that you have in your house that other people probably don't have
Something unusual.
in their house?
Unique to you.
Something unique to your house or to you. KXRK Provo, get ready to play.
It was the place to hang out. You always begged your parents to drop you off at the mall. And I look back at those days and I'm like, I hate the mall. I don't need to go there.
I try to avoid it if I can.
I don't recall the last time I was in a mall.
My husband used to work at the E-Bar, the Nordstrom E-Bar at the mall.
Is he?
And that was the only reason I would ever go to the mall.
Just go get a coffee.
Just get coffee from him, say hi, and leave.
Because you were flirting with him?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I was already dating him, but I
okay.
continues to flirt with him. Why not?
Flirt him.
It keeps the spark alive,
Yeah,
right?
keep flirting,
Keep
Katie.
flirting
Don't
with
stop
him.
that.
But
Flirt
no.
with, you could flirt with me if you want.
No.
Thanks, Bill, but we're coworkers.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be good,
It's
would it?
weird.
No. It'd be a little weird.
I was always told not to date my coworkers, and then I started dating my husband, who I was working with at the time at the haunted house.
That it doesn't
worked
count.
out.
It doesn't count at the haunted
No,
house.
But it
that's
worked
fine.
out.
They mean
so.
that everywhere except the
you
haunted
should-
house exception.
You
is-
should never dip your pen in the company ink. I had not heard that before, and I heard somebody on a television show say it a few days ago.
Really? I've heard that before, and I always thought it was the worst metaphor to
I've
say.
heard-
It is.
I've heard
it's
don't.
terrible.
The worst one is don't fish off the company pier.
I don't know. I think
That-
dipping in the company ink is worse.
No,
They're both
what I'm
pretty
saying,
bad.
What I'm saying, dipping your pen in a company ink is descriptive.
Yeah.
Fishing off the company pier is not. It's like, huh? What do you mean? What am I? Huh?
There's a lot of fish in the sea.
You're fishing
maybe
for a
I don't-
date. You're fishing
I don't
for a-
know.
It's more. It's more precise to say, don't dip your pen in the company ink.
Just don't date your coworkers. How about that?
Oh.
But that's companies have policies against it. But I know many instances of people
that went
developing,
around that.
or there wasn't a policy and they had relationships at work. And
It depends on if you're in a position of power. Like if you're equals, if you both do the same thing. I
well,
don't
where's the point of that?
they're not,
I mean,
perks.
I want to date up, man. I want my CEO to be a hot woman who wants to date me.
Bill just wants a sugar mama. That's
That's
what
right.
he wants.
That's right. That would be nice.
I'm glad I'm not dating.
I don't think
You
I
know
know
what?
how to date anymore.
You know what, Gina? The dating world is glad you're not dating
Isn't it?
anymore because you didn't do that much of it anyway.
No, I didn't.
I feel like it's changed so much I wouldn't even know how to date.
I've never dated. Never. I don't.
You just get married.
Uh,
I used to say that about my dad. He doesn't date. He
Yeah.
just gets married.
no, I've only been married twice. Yeah, twice. I'm trying, wait a minute. Yeah, twice. But
And you met your first wife when you were very young, and then you've been married for another
well,
20 some odd years. So
yeah, well, but there was dating that went on in there too somewhere.
a little bit. You want to be careful here?
Well, it's way long time ago. It's water way under the bridge.
Oh, okay.
But I never dated.
Like, would you like to go to dinner with
Yeah.
me on Friday night? You didn't do that?
No, not too much.
I think I did that like with one person in college, and that was it.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it was just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're just hanging
And,
out.
and wait, now everybody left, and it's just me and you hanging out.
Yeah.
Is that how
Yeah,
it would go?
basically, yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
everybody's gone now.
And oh my, you really are hanging out.
Is that the company?
That's my company. That's my pen. Where's the company ink?
All right.
I love hanging around with women. You guys
Well,
are
you're
fun.
going to do it all week.
All week. Yeah, you're stuck with us.
I know. I like it.
A lot of estrogen in here.
I've often said I'd rather hang around with women than with men. I know what men are like, and I don't care for them.
And Springville did. Who remembers yesterday Kerry Jackson saying he was going to explain the movie Weapons to
Well, I
us?
won't explain it.
Oh.
We'll just delve into it a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Delving into it, brought to you by the Utah Brewers Guild, invites you to the Great Beer Mashup Saturday, May 10th at Woodbine Food Hall. Utah's most talented craft brewers will release a plethora of new collaborative beers for your tasting pleasure. Get tickets at utahbrewersguild.org. Must be 21 to attend.
That ought to be good. That Woodbine is a really cool place. I like that.
All right, so yes, now the movie is called Weapons.
And we don't know why, really, do we?
Don't quite yet. I'm guessing that somehow the kids are weapons.
That was kind of my guess, too. But
Now, the guy who made this movie just made this the movie Barbarian.
now tell us about, you saw it.
Oh, man. So disturbing. You rent an Airbnb,
Yeah.
and you find out that there's a creepy old person living in the basement.
Okay.
And I will never rent an Airbnb again.
And that there are tunnels under the Airbnb.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, I tell you, it scared the hell out of me.
Now,
But
Gina, the chances are only like 50-50 that would happen.
yeah. But the
Only
guy,
50-50.
the guy who made that, when that movie was a hit, they came to him and said, "Here, make movies, please." And here he is. So he's got the first one. It's called Weapons. Now, this explains the plot
Okay.
of the movie,
All right.
and it's scary as hell.
Okay.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why?
Why?
Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Based on a true story.
At all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
That's Mrs. Gandy, Julia Garner, the Silver Surfer from the Fantastic Four movie. And yeah, there's these creepy shots of kids, running down the street in the middle of the night with their arms out like they're flying,
But they look like shadows or
Yeah, but they're shadowy and nobody really knows what's going on.
Where did you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
This is where the story really starts.
Oh.
So yeah. This will be interesting.
Is this going to be in theaters?
August in theaters, yes.
Ugh.
It's
I don't know if I can see it.
Like I said, you should watch Barbarian.
Really?
If you can make it through Barbarian, you might make it through this one.
All right.
Okay, so this whole Minecraft movie mayhem situation
Made
in the theaters.
Crazy amount of money.
Yes. I mean, the movie has made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then, of course, there's the audience participation aspect
Yeah.
of the whole thing, right? Well, Warner Brothers is trying to figure out how to, put a face on that's acceptable, reasonably acceptable. Mm-hmm. And they can't. They're just secretly liking all of the money that they're getting. Mm-hmm. So they've decided to cash in on it.
Okay.
Warner Brothers is announcing block party edition screenings of the Minecraft movie. So basically, on May 2nd, tomorrow, check your theaters.
Okay.
And look for block party edition. Because that's the one where you're encouraged to sing along. Encouraged.
So it's like a rock. It really is like
It
Rocky
really
Horror.
is. They're encouraging you. Go to these screenings if you want to participate.
This is a smart thing to do. Then people can go and do that if they want.
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Although I've seen some of the mess in some
That's
of the
the thing.
pictures of some of the mess in the theaters.
Well, see, I used to feel bad for the poor people who had to clean up
Yeah.
after all of our Rocky Horror
Yeah.
Picture Shows. Speaking of Rocky Horror, Disney, which now owns, isn't that strange to say?
Yeah.
Disney now owns the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
They oversaw a 10-month process to clean up the print and give it a 4K remaster on Blu-ray. Now, I'm not sure. Do you want to see that movie really clearly? I'm not quite sure you want to do that. Let's see. And remember I told you about the Sergeant Rock movie? It's a DC character
Yeah.
who's he's just a soldier, no powers. And they were talking to, let's see, it was Scottish actor, good-looking penguin.
Good-looking penguin.
Yeah, the penguin.
Oh,
Colin Farrell.
Colin
They
Farrell.
were talking to Colin Farrell about playing him.
I believe he's Welsh.
Welsh, thank you. But he, I guess he said no, or they said, well, maybe this isn't working out so well, so they're shelving it for
Oh.
So you're not going to get the Sergeant Rock movie. You are, however, getting another Miami Vice movie.
But when you say they're shelving that's why Carrie never jumps on anything until it's actually happening, because a lot of things get talked about that don't.
I mean, they were ready to go forward on this, but apparently there's some scheduling
Yeah.
situations with a bunch of other stuff, and James Gunn doesn't want to do Sergeant Rock quite yet, so that's probably part of it. But you are going to get another Miami Vice movie, but the good news is that you've got Joseph Kosinski is going to direct it. He's the John Wick guy. So it might be interesting.
That'd be good action then.
Might be interesting. And Nightcrawler filmmaker Danny Gilroy is penning the script from an earlier draft by Top Gun Maverick scribe Eric Warren Singer. All right, so you are getting a Miami Vice thing. And finally this. John Lithgow was surprised by the backlash over joining the Harry Potter series.
My guess is John doesn't spend a lot of time on social media.
I don't think he knew.
He doesn't.
I really think he genuinely was not aware of.
Here's what he said.
Yeah.
He received a text from a friend who had sent him a link to an article titled An Open Letter to John Lithgow, Please Walk Away from Harry Potter. Before he had signed on for the role, he received another text from another very good friend who was the mother of a trans child and said, please don't do Harry Potter.
This is because J.K. Rowling's stance on
for some reason is so vehement about this.
Asked if he expected the criticism, Lithgow replied, no, absolutely not. Of course, it was a big decision because it's probably the last major role I'll ever play. It's an 8-star commitment, so I was just thinking about mortality, and that was very good winding down role. I mean, no one was upset when I played Roald Dahl. That's how out of touch the poor guy is. So, he couldn't figure out why people might be upset. Oh, well.
But he played a trans person himself in
I don't
The
know.
World According to Garp.
That's the thing. I don't think J.K. knows that. Otherwise, she may not have let him be Dumbledore in this new thing. All right, there you go. It's Irish, not Scottish.
Is he?
That's what they're saying about Irish,
Colin
not
Farrell's,
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell's Irish.
Yeah. All right. Traffic.
Traffic lights flashing red at the intersection of 35th South Mountain View Corridor. This will add to your typical delays that you see there every day. Treat that as a four-way stop. Delays I-15 northbound Midvale to Murray due to Highway Patrol doing a slowdown in the area. And whatever you're seeing on the roads, you can text us 33986. X96 presents Kilby Block Party May 15th through the 18th at Utah State Fair Park, featuring Weezer, New Order, Beach House, Devo, and more. Get your tickets in the full lineup at x96.com.
It's an interesting observation in the text. If Disney owns Rocky Horror, does that mean Frankenfurter is a Disney princess?
Yes.
I think it might.
I think you need to ask Frank. I'm not going to even guess.
All right, here we go with boners. These are the ones you're going to be voting for in just a couple of minutes. Boner candidate number 1. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. Boner candidate number 2. And when I say all the science on fluoride, I mean one largely discredited study. And boner candidate number 3, even my hat has a hat.
Oh, legalized comedy. All right. We have some messages and a song, and then we'll get to Boner of the Day along with some big boy news. Stay. Yeah.
Loma Linda Ruskets.
Loma Linda Ruskets?
Wow.
Look it up. Loma Linda Ruskets.
Sure, we're not doing anything here.
They're delicious.
I mean, we can push the news. We can continue talking about cereal if you'd like.
We got time coming up to talk more about cereal if you want. It doesn't. I don't care what we do here, frankly.
No, let's push it.
Did you find it?
I kinda. How do you spell Ruskets?
RUSKETTS or
TTS
or T or Rusk RUSCK. I don't. It's been years. I don't remember.
Yeah, because Loma Linda Rusnak Hyundai.
Oh, I think I found it. I think I found it.
How do you spell it?
RUSKETS. One T.
There you go. Ruskets. They're compressed little bars of cereal that you put into a bowl and put a milk, and then they fall apart.
Oh, they're okay. Okay, Rusket Flakes cereals. It says.
Yeah, I'm seeing some with like peaches cut up and put inside it on the
They
box.
came in flakes, and then they also came in these compressed kind of bars, as I recall.
There's a free prize inside.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
it's kind of sad that prizes are not in cereals anymore. I mean, they had great prizes.
Were they ever really very good?
Oh yeah, there was a Captain Crunch had a submarine. You put baking soda in it, and then we put in the tub, and it would go down, and then the baking soda would make it go back up because of the air.
Oh yeah, yeah,
my
I remember
God.
that.
Very
Had
cool.
those. They did submarines and divers.
Cheerios had these little go-karts that were powered by rubber bands.
What?
Oh yeah, and Quisp had like flying saucers that had a firing rocket. And then there were rockets with the monster cereals too. There were like compressed air, and you push the tubes together, and it would pop the top of it off.
Oh, here's the greatest thing about Ruskets. They were considered a health food, and they were produced by a health food company owned by the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
That's but I remember having them as a kid.
Well.
Ruskets, flakes, and compressed bars, and then they always had prizes in them.
Yeah, and
Always.
sometimes they had there was it was the regular sugar pops, but they had Star Trek on the front.
Oh, really? I don't
And
remember that.
it was Spock's face on it, and on the back you'd have a mask, a cutout mask of Star Trek people, so you could be Captain Kirk or
Right.
So that was kind of cool too.
And then some greedy, very vulnerable children had to go and ruin it all by
Exactly.
getting hurt.
And then on the back of some of them, they'd have records for your record player.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How is that
Yeah.
profitable?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's just a reason to get you to buy the cereal,
In Mad Magazine, one time, a record came in Mad Magazine. You cut it out, and it had grooves on it, and I still remember the song. You could probably even find it, Carrie. It's called "It's a Gas."
It's a gas. It's easy to find. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was,
you know what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
right where to find it. Yeah.
It's a Gas, and it was you cut the record out, and it was kind of heavy. It wasn't really vinyl, but it was a heavy. It wasn't just paper.
Here we go.
Here it is.
It's a gas!
Ready? It'll be perfect for you, Nick. You'll love it. See.
I would have lost my mind as a child
Exactly.
hearing that.
As a child, you get this? Oh, man.
That's a whole Saturday of just
Exactly.
me playing that on repeat.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Just the greatest thing in the world.
Well, it makes more sense for that being in a magazine versus
Who
a
did they
cereal.
say did that?
Alfred E. Newman.
Oh, so Alfred E. Newman, they
Yeah.
said did that. Okay. I just remember getting that record.
But yeah, it was in the magazine. But on the back of the cereal box, like the monster cereals, it'd be Count Chocula's, this is the sounds of the haunted house, and it was haunted house sounds.
Mm-hmm. We've lost our way.
I know.
We've lost our way as a society.
Freakies had all 7 of the Freakies characters in like little plastic figures that you could collect. And then they had cars that were powered by balloons.
Cool.
So you'd blow up the balloon, you'd stick it on the car, and they let it go, and it would go, and they'd make the car go.
My mother fed us Gravy Train for dinner for about a year before we realized it was dog food. We were poor.
Was it beef-flavored cereal?
No, it was just, because it made its own gravy. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So she'd use warm water and...
Oh, now here's another one I had. Super Sugar Crisp on the back, they would give you an Archie's record. You just cut it out and put it on your turntable.
The Archies.
The Archies.
They actually had hits. Or a hit.
Or a hit.
Yeah.
The closest thing I had to that growing up is fast food restaurants had really good toys.
And the Beach Boys, their song Smile, was on the back of Post Honeycomb for a while.
Really?
You just cut it and you'd play the record.
Do you know, Nick, that Carrie and I were able to convince people for a long time that I was King Vitamin?
Oh?
Do you know King Vitamin?
I don't know King Vitamin. I'm assuming a mascot.
Vitamin.
King Vitamin cereal.
King Vitamin.
I
Get a
Googled it. I
sweet
do not
corn
recognize this
taste.
character.
And all the
there's-
vitamins you need.
Was it it was a cartoon character
At first.
and then they used a real guy.
Then they went to an actor, yeah.
And I said I was before I started in radio, I was the actor who played King Vitamin on all the cereal
On
boxes.
the back of cornflakes, you'd get Gary Lewis and the Playboys records.
This diamond ring doesn't shine for me anymore. Why do I know that?
Were people just throwing themselves at you, Bill?
Because they thought he was King Vitamin?
Thinking
King
you're
Vitamin.
King
Oh, yeah.
Vitamin?
And Carrie was what was the Duke of Milk?
The Duke of Milk, which is a character that never existed, that we convinced people existed. But Mike knows the show back and forth from all the years.
Yes.
See that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, all right. On this day, in 1984, The Cure released their fifth studio album, The Top, featuring the single Caterpillar. Robert Smith was still the official guitarist of Susie and the Banshees while writing The Top and helped compose their sixth album, Hyena, at the same time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there you go.
I made a mistake. I'm
What'd
a
you
little
do?
off today.
What's the matter?
I forgot to do the damn contest, so quickly, let me give you the keyword, and you can text it in right now. This is for $1,000.
So it's still good. Still good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
$1,000 nationwide contest.
Right.
Here's your word. Slot. S-L-O-T. Slot. Text that to 508-777-1000. That's 508-777-1000. Of course, I'm sure the rest of the day, 10:15, 1:15, 5:15, it will be on time with your keyword slot 508-777-1000 to win $1,000 cash in this nationwide contest.
Slot with an O. $1,000 on the line.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Boner of the day. 3 news stories. These will be examples of bad. Stupid. Funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote. Of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to be boner of the day for today? It is May 1st, 2025. We'll give you 2 candidates now. A third after the news, and once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive...
Can't buy it. Got to win it. Radio from Hell boner t-shirts.
Boner candidate number 1. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. 11 high school lacrosse players in Syracuse, New York, turned themselves into the authorities on Wednesday in a hazing incident involving younger teammates that the district attorney has said included a gun and a knife. William J. Fitzpatrick, the district attorney for Onondaga County, had given the players 48 hours to surrender and turn in the gun or face criminal kidnapping charges. He called the episode hazing on steroids and said the students would be charged with unlawful imprisonment, which is a misdemeanor. I cannot adequately express to the community the level of stupidity and lack of judgment involved in this case, Mr. Fitzpatrick said at a news conference. This goes way, way beyond hazing. Fitzpatrick said that a group of older players from the West Hill High School boys varsity lacrosse team took several younger players to a remote area last Thursday after a dinner at a fast food restaurant. A driver pretended to be lost, and another group of students emerged from the woods dressed in dark clothes, brandishing at least 1 handgun and 1 knife, said Mr. Fitzpatrick. While the victim's head was covered with a pillowcase, he was tied up, bundled into the trunk of a car, and taken to another remote location. And then he was left there for an unspecified period of time, and then eventually driven home. Other victims escaped, Fitzpatrick said. Video was recovered that showed some of the older players finding the episode very amusing, according to Fitzpatrick. I've seen the videotape of what happened to this young man, he said. It is not a rite of passage. It is not a trivial matter.
No.
Boner candidate number 1. Oh, come on, it was just a joke. Here's boner candidate number 2. When I say that all of the science on fluoride, I mean one flawed and largely discredited study on fluoride. As Donald Trump's health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy, he could pursue a rigorous high-quality study regarding the efficacy of fluoride in drinking water and whether or not it's hazardous to our health. But instead, he's glommed on to a flawed study on the matter, and now we're here with Kennedy confidently telling the president at a cabinet meeting yesterday that, quote, all of the science on fluoride agrees that the more you get, the stupider you are.
Says the heroin addict.
Kennedy mentioned the finding as part of his justification to attempt to change federal guidelines on fluoridation of drinking water.
Oh, we've already done it here. He doesn't have to come here and talk to us about it.
Florida's going to do it, too. Lee Zeldin and I are working together to change the federal fluoride regulations, he said. He said he look at this study, and it shows that fluoride in the drinking water makes you stupid.
You know what?
The study he looked at was a long, discredited study, very old, but that's it's good enough for him because it validates what he thinks.
And one of the guys he's bringing in to help head this up is not a doctor.
Mm-hmm. That's Zeldin, Lee Zeldin.
Yeah.
Speaking of doctors, all over Twitter yesterday, because he also said this.
Oh, yeah, I've got
I don't know
here.
if you have it.
Yeah, I
Carrie.
do.
There are populations in our country, like the Mennonites in Texas, who are most afflicted, and they have religious objections to the vaccination because the MMR vaccine contains a lot of aborted fetus debris and DNA particles.
Okay. So did you hear that? It contains a lot of aborted fetus debris.
That has been disproven.
It does not.
No.
That is a bold-faced lie.
That has been disproven years
But
ago.
when your Health and Human Services Secretary says that, people are going to point to it and
Yeah.
go, see, that's why I don't vaccinate my kids. It's absolutely not true.
That's boner candidate number 2. When I say all of the science on fluoride, I mean one flawed and largely discredited study. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, even my hat has a hat.
Boner candidate number 3 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinioendo brought to you by...
Celebrate the creativity and teamwork of Utah's craft brewers and beverage makers at the Utah Brewers Guild Great Beer Mashup Saturday, May 10th at Woodbine Food Hall. Learn more and get your tickets at x96.com.
Well, before we get to the serious matters in the news, this is serious, but it's Michael Bolton had super weird symptoms before ultimately being diagnosed with brain cancer, his daughter said. His family began noticing weird symptoms in the days before the singer was diagnosed with brain cancer. His daughter, Taryn, told People magazine that family members took notice of Bolton's behavior when he was bowling. Bolton bowled out of turn 3 times during an outing in late 2023, behavior that Taryn would describe as super weird. That was when we were like, something's wrong with his brain. Everything that happened was weird for him, but not super alarming. But when you look back and piece everything together, we miss so many of the signs. Taryn said the family noticed out-of-character moments earlier in the night, even before they went bowling. He fell out of his chair to the left, which is very unusual.
He usually falls to the right.
He's super athletic, and he doesn't drink, so he fell, and we're like, what just happened? After experiencing a bad headache, Michael Bolton went to the hospital, underwent an MRI. Yes, he did have a brain tumor. The tumor was removed. Doctors confirmed that he had glioblastoma, a type of cancer that grows rapidly and is common in older adults. The now 72-year-old publicly announced in January last year he had undergone surgery to remove the brain tumor, but he said he's clear of cancer and he's recovering and he expects to be all right and even go back out and do more concerts. Let's see here. The 988 crisis line, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline call center. This is where all Utah calls are routed. When late Senator Orrin Hatch began exploring the possibility of creating a national 3-digit crisis line, an idea that came from a pair of state lawmakers, he gathered experts in the room at Salt Lake's East High School to discuss a statistic that had for years spiked among Utah teens: suicide. A disproportionate number of youth who end their lives identify as members of the LGBTQ plus community, a reporter invited to observe the 2016 roundtable pointed out. Quote, is there anything that is being done or that can be done to help that specific demographic, the reporter asked. Hatch responded, that's a very interesting question, and it is true the LGBT kids are in a lot of trouble. So what are we going to do about it? Years later, after Hatch retired, he worked on the 988 line, but it took a long time to get this done. Then former Representative Chris Stewart pushed a bill to create the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline across the finish line, launched in 2022. Later that year, Congress appropriated tens of millions of dollars toward already piloted specialized services for LGBTQ plus youth that would call into the line. Numerous programs serving vulnerable populations have been cut since Trump became president, and that's one of them they're cutting. They're not going to cut the whole line. They're cutting funds that support that specific responses for LGBTQ plus. State Senator Daniel Thatcher of West Valley says it is as irresponsible as not having a burn unit or an ICU or a pediatrics unit. You can't pretend that every injured person has the same needs and can just be given a Band-Aid and an aspirin. And Thatcher, who has left the Republican Party, is
a good guy.
He's trying to marshal some support to keep that funding in place. A Utah therapist is now facing several charges of sexual exploitation of a minor and voyeurism, following former patients of his coming forward to police. Robert Virgil Dindinger. Yes, Robert Virgil Dindinger had charges filed against him by the Utah Attorney General's office, according to court documents. Detectives started looking into the case after an alleged victim of Dr. Dindinger reported that between the ages of 13 and 16, she was a patient of his. The victim reported to Orem police that she had seen Dindinger for depression, anxiety, and self-harm. However, during the sessions, the victim told police, and this is a vulnerable young person, that she had disclosed a pornography addiction to Mr. Dindinger. At that point, the victim says her sessions became exclusively about that. The victim was 14 years old at the time, and then she had to do things in Dindinger's office.
But apparently he had been, don't you have in the story, multiple complaints against him for that?
There are others. They just focused on this one specifically.
But like a lot.
Yeah.
And he had been reprimanded by the licensure many times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How he was still able to be practicing, I don't know.
Well, his name is Dindinger. Maybe that had something to do with it. The Daily Show correspondent Desi Leidick,
love her,
mocked President Trump on Wednesday after he revealed what the Declaration of Independence means to him.
Do you have that, Karen?
In an interview
I
with
have a
ABC.
bad recording. Let me look again.
It's a bad recording. When asked about a copy of the document that was put on display in the Oval Office, Trump told Terry Moran, the ABC News reporter, quote, that the Declaration of Independence means exactly what it says. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of unity and love and respect.
Unity.
And it means a lot, and it's something very special to our country.
He's never read it.
He has no idea what it means.
He doesn't.
It's a declaration of independence breaking us off from Great Britain. It's a divorce decree, essentially. You'd think he would know that.
It's the opposite of unity.
Yes. and peace and love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really doesn't know.
He has no idea.
He hasn't a clue.
He has not a clue as to what it is. U.S.-based Waymo is teaming up with Japan-based Toyota. You know what Waymo is, Gina?
No.
Self-driving cars.
Hate those. Don't trust them.
Japan-based Toyota is part of a strategic partnership to advance self-driving vehicle technologies. In a blog this week, the autonomous driving technology company Waymo announced it had reached a preliminary agreement with Toyota to collaborate on developing and deploying a new series of self-driving cars. Speaking of cars, General Motors is recalling 600,000 vehicles across its Cadillac, Chevrolet, and GMC brands in the U.S. due to potential manufacturing defects that can cause engine failure. The recall covers certain Cadillac Escalade ESVs, Chevy Silverado 1500s, Suburbans, and Tahoes, as well as the GM Sierra 1500, Yukon, and Yukon XLS between the model years of 2021 and 2024. You'll probably, if you have one of those, you'll probably get a recall notice in the mail. And finally, this story, a relaxing day in Ocean City, Maryland, on the beach, took a scary turn when a slithery surprise emerged from the water.
Yeah.
Roxanne Flanagan thought it would be fun to take the kids to the beach. As they were hanging out there, Roxanne's daughter yelled, "A snake!" I said, "Oh, no, it's just a stick." I walked over and it started to move, said Flanagan. While many of us would run, Roxanne grabbed her phone and took pictures and video of the snake relaxing on the beach there. It was just, it was sunning itself. She said, but then it slithered off back into the water. Apparently, it was a hognose snake, and the wildlife experts say it's a native species, and it likes sandy soil, and they're not dangerous. They don't bite or anything. They're just. So he was just hanging out. Probably she scared the snake more than the snake scared her. All right, that's it.
Weather traffic.
Just a beautiful day, 68 and sunny, even warmer tomorrow, 77, even warmer Saturday, 82. And then things change Saturday night into Sunday. We go back down into the 50s, and chance of showers Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, even Tuesday possibly. So enjoy the next couple of days. They look just beautiful. Traffic lights flashing red at the intersection of 35th South Mountain View Corridor. Treat that as four-way stop. Delays I-15 northbound from Midvale into Murray. Let's see if we have anything else. Crash southbound I-15 Beck Street, Highway 89, milepost 312. And you haven't sent anything in via text, but if you see something you think other friends of the program need to know about, you certainly can let us know by texting 33986.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Even my hat has a hat. And also part of the boner will be to the New York Post for the way they wrote the story. Elon Musk had double the fun in a cabinet meeting Wednesday. The billionaire Doge chief turned heads during the conference at the White House when he donned 2 caps. Elon, I love the double hat, President Trump told Musk, who was the only official in attendance who chose to wear promotional headgear that had been placed on the cabinet room's table. He's the only one who could do that and get away with it, Trump joked. Elon wore 2 hats. He had a red Gulf of America hat over the top of a black Doge hat. Well, Mr. President, they say, I wear a lot of hats, said Musk, who wore the red Gulf of America hat on top of the black Doge hat. It's true. Even my hat has a hat.
Elon,
oh, God.
You will never be funny, and all the money in the world will not buy you friends.
Oh, God. Well,
all right.
Boner candidate number 3.
You're
Even
pathetic.
my hat has a hat.
All right. Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. Oh, come on. It was just a joke. Well, it was a pretty awful hazing situation in Syracuse, New York, involving members of a lacrosse team. Boner candidate number 2. And when I say that all the science on fluoride, I mean one flawed and largely discredited study. That's the Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying that fluoride, the more you get, the stupider you are. And then he also made wild false claims about the vaccines, saying that they're full of
fetuses,
fetal debris, as
Not
he put
even
it.
a tiny bit true.
And boner candidate number 3, even my hat has a hat.
Oh, boy. All right, time to vote for Boner of the Day. Which one do you think is the worst? Which one deserves to be Boner of the Day for today, May 1, 2025? 1, 2, or 3? Remember the candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text and then text that to 33986. Or you can call Katie in the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box. It says Boner of the Day, May 1, 2025. Click and vote. If you don't see that box, refresh your browser. It'll appear. Click and vote. All right. So as soon as we award the Boner, right after these messages, it's the X poll. The question being, what is something that you have in your house that other people don't have?
Most likely.
Most likely.
Something unusual in your house.
In your house that they don't have. All right? Okay, 4 minutes. Let's go. Boner of the Day.
Yeah, you listen.
I'm Beat Gina announcer Johnny Ola, and I'm a man of slightly above.
I have this is a list I can include in the news here.
Sure. Okay.
I'm top of mind here because I'm about to travel.
Yes.
9 travel hacks that will change your life.
Change your life.
Carry a wad of cash separate to your wallet.
Yes.
You do this?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
For tipping.
Like ones and
Ones and fives.
Because I don't use cash ever
Nobody
for
does,
anything. They also say it's good to, if you get in a situation where someone's trying to mug you, you can have some side cash here. That's all I have.
And then they're
this
more
wad of
likely to
cash.
just grab it and go.
Yep.
Because, yeah, they wouldn't go after your phone or the wallet or the big wad of cash is the apple of their eye.
Oh, yeah. Untraceable.
They say bring your own sunscreen. Don't say, oh, I'll buy it when I get there.
Usually a good idea. Yeah.
Don't ask strangers if you can borrow their sunscreen.
Well, and it's usually if you're going to a resort and you think, oh, I'll go to the gift shop and buy sunscreen, it's outrageously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Brush your teeth as soon as you land. This I don't get. I'm not going to go in the airport bathroom and brush my teeth.
What's their reasoning?
They say, who needs business class when you can just brush your teeth? It can make a world of difference how you look, feel, and smell at the end of a flight. Brushing your teeth is the quickest way to feel human again after a long flight.
I get it.
Have toothpaste and brush ready as soon as you get off the plane.
I get it. Okay.
Let's see. See tourist attractions on rainy days because they're
Yeah.
less likely to be busy.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut your nails before your trip.
Yes.
Because you don't often think to bring your clippers
don't.
with you, and you don't want to be stuck in a hotel room desperately wanting to clip,
Or if you just
your
clip
nails.
your nails in general. I mean,
If you keep, but do it, but
Before
do
you
a little
go.
tidying before you go.
how often are you clipping your nails?
About every other week.
Yeah, that.
But that's not the point. The point is
If you do it, if you make sure you time it so you do it before you leave.
do you know the day that you're going to have to do it?
No.
Okay.
But
see? But if you do it before you go, then you don't have to worry about it.
Speaking
Okay.
of doing it before you go, always go to the toilet when you have a chance.
Yes.
Again, this is not trip central.
But sometimes you think, well, I don't have to go now. Like you're walking by a bathroom and you go,
I'm fine.
I'm fine. No,
No.
you don't know when the next opportunity will be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a preventative pee, I like to
You may
call
get
it.
in your rental car and then get stuck in traffic. And then you're
I
suffering.
think this way outside of trips, I guess is my point.
Okay.
Everything you're mentioning.
And Carrie, this is good advice for your next trip.
Okay.
Schedule soft days.
Soft. Yes.
Days when you have not
Nothing.
planned anything.
Again!
Don't overschedule your trip activities. Do not.
Yeah. Thursday, we have nothing on the schedule. We're just going
I
to
mean, unless you're like at a amusement like Disney World or some stuff like that. But if you're headed to say San Diego, be sure to have some empty days.
Empty days. I like calling them soft days, though. That sounds nice. It's a
Yeah,
soft day.
But it's
Soft
just,
days.
again, this is just remember to live your regular life when you're on a trip.
Yes.
Also, Gina, compression socks on the airplane.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
That's an actual trip-centric tip.
So that's the first one.
That's the first
Okay.
one.
Okay. He's so angry.
I know. Weather?
Weather.
I need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, jeez.
At 33986.
All right, 7:46. Time to award boner of the day.
And the boner of the day is brought to you in part by lentil and chorizo stew.
And see movies on the big screen at local nonprofit Broadway Center cinemas. This weekend, check out La La Land and Moonlight. These films will forever be linked together. See both this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Tickets and showtimes at slfstix.org.
Well, it was a pretty good fight between boner candidate number one, the hazing incident, And boner candidate number 2, Robert Kennedy Jr., saying that all the science shows that the more fluoride you take in, the stupider you get, and also the MMR vaccines have fetal debris in them.
Not
even true.
So those two are fighting it out. 100 votes for boner candidate number 1, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr., 235 votes, wins boner of the day.
Nope. Sorry, wrong button. Let's hit this one instead. That's your boner of the day for today, May 1, 2025. Now qualified to be boner of the week. All right.
Time for the Radio from Hell X poll.
You're being polled. You have to participate.
Now, we'd like you to participate on the phone, 877-602-9696. Answer the simple question, what do you have in your house that is unusual, that most people don't have? Something that is unique to you or your house, or something that you think, I bet nobody else has this in their house. Can be an item. I was going to mention the torture chamber down in the basement, but then I thought,
other people have those.
But I did have. There was a really unusual feature in my house, which is no longer there. But when we bought it, there's so you go in the front door and you're immediately facing stairs that go up to the second level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 flights of stairs. So you walk up one, there's a landing, and then you turn to the left and go up another little flight of stairs to get to the second floor. What used to be there was another set of stairs in the kitchen, which went up to that landing. So you could go from the kitchen and walk up a short flight of stairs to the landing there. Now, we actually took that out because there was no way to get into the basement except for outside. You'd have to go through the outside door. So we took those stairs out and pointed them down so that they would go down into the basement, which seemed more practical. But it was just
that's a feature of your house.
It was a weird little thing, and I think it was for people for going from the kitchen to take things up to the bedroom or up to the one of the bedrooms upstairs.
And it doesn't have to be a feature in your house. It can be, like Bill's saying, but like a thing in your house, an item in your house, something you have.
Here's one. My mom has a 100-pound tortoise.
Really?
We walk around Liberty Wells to exercise him and maintain his nails.
Great.
And he draws a crowd when we do.
100 pounds?
That's cool.
I'd say that, you're probably not many people.
No.
Let's go to Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Hi.
Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Taylorsville.
Okay. What's unusual, or what do you have that's unusual?
Well, first I want to say hi, Bill. I met you. I was a mermaid at a show that we were at. So,
Okay. I remember
hi, Bill.
I remember the mermaids. Hi, Angie.
Hi. I have a collection of mermaid items. I have well over 1,000 of them.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's unusual.
That is how do you display a lot of them?
Yes, I do. I have shelves up in my living room that many of them are on.
Do you wish you were an actual mermaid?
She is.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you, Angie.
Bye.
Right. Let's go to our next call. It is Ranger Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, guys.
What do you got?
So it's not like terribly unusual, but it's just becoming more and more rare.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my landline. I'm actually calling you guys on my landline right now.
That is unusual.
I prefer the landlines. They sound so
I
much
have
better.
one too,
Hey,
but I never use it.
Yeah,
it's shut. We just shut the ringer off.
better for having, like when I have long conversations catching up with my ex-mother-in-law, like I prefer to not have to have cutting in and out and bad service.
Yep.
I can just sit down and comfortable handset to hold. I love it.
Yep. Cool. All right. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Kate. All right, let's go to Corey.
Hello, Corey.
Good morning.
What do you have unusual?
It's not in my house. It's in my yard.
Mhm.
It's a Husqvarna Robo-mower.
Now, I've heard of these. It's like
Is it like a Roomba?
Yeah, it's like a Roomba,
Ooh.
but it mows your lawn.
Boy, Gina got really excited about
Now,
this.
Cool.
Does it work
Yeah.
well?
Oh, it's amazing. I had a Honda mower for 27 years or something like that, and it finally gave out. And I'm pushing 60 thinking, like, do I really want to buy another mower? Do I want to pay someone? And then somehow ran onto these robo-mowers. Had a little spare change because my father just passed away, and thought, I'm going to go for it. And it's really cool. Like, the neighbors love it.
How much does a robo-mower cost?
They're between, I'm going to say $1,500 and up, depending on which one you get.
And it's electric.
Right? Yeah, so it has a charging station. It goes back to the charger.
Yeah.
It charges up. You can set the schedule for when you want it to mow. It's totally random, so you just kind of figure out how long to run it, and it just keeps the yard looking nice. It's got 3 little
Oh, you need
You
Kate's
need a
landline.
landline. Corey, you cut out.
We lost you,
Okay,
Corey.
thanks, Corey. This one's interesting. My house has a sprinkling system. There's not a fire hydrant near me when we built our house, and they made us put a sprinkling system
That is
in.
odd.
Really?
That is unusual.
Okay. I have a telegram from J. Edgar Hoover to my grandfather asking him to join the FBI.
That's cool.
Oh, all right. Let's
And
continue.
bring your best dress.
Lance is here. Hello, Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Good morning, Lord.
Hey, where are you calling from, Lance?
I'm calling from I'm in South Jordan right now, and I wanted to call because I know you guys I think about a little over a week ago, were talking about saunas
Mm-hmm.
and like purchasing saunas for your home. My dad had built a sauna out of my walk-in closet, my old bedroom.
Oh, yeah?
And so I decided to do it in my house, and it's the best thing ever. I get it in almost every day.
Oh, okay.
That's
It only cost about $1,000.
$1,000, and you built it yourself in a closet.
Yeah, my old man really was the master behind it, but yeah, like I said, all the parts were only about $1,000. So screw buying those $5,000 one man. I can fit like 3 people in here comfortably.
That's great. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Lance.
Thanks, Lance. He's calling us from the
I was
sauna.
going to say, we'll be over.
Yeah.
I,
See you later.
Let's see. This is John. Hello, John.
Hi, John. What do you have that's good? What do you have that's unusual, John?
I have 10,000 action figures in my apartment.
In your apartment?
10,000?
Yes, sir. I'm one of the largest persons that have action figures. I met you people a few times at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
You people.
Can you send us a picture?
I did.
Well,
I sent you a couple of pictures
Send us
of
another
my
one.
collection, and it should be. I'll send them again.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta email them though. You can't text them to us.
We don't get them
I
via
can't
text.
put them on your website.
No.
You have to email them.
Email them.
Radio from Hell at x96.com.
Okay.
All right, I've been collecting for 50 years.
Okay.
Awesome.
Amazing.
I've got about 10,000 action figures in my apartment.
Okay.
And when people come over, they're just amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Or
imagine.
frightened. One of the-
Thanks,
And
John.
they think I Toys R Us.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Let's see. Let's go to Woodworker Willie.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Lords.
Yeah. What do you got?
Hello. So you can Google or Amazon this one. It's a Twister Hurricane Light Water Vortex. But I've had mine for a long time because one of my buddies built it from scratch as a machinist, and I built the wood base around it. And it's like a giant water tornado with a light.
That's cool.
Mine's like 4.5 feet tall.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. And our attorney, Ed Brass, I think he has the winning answer so far.
Oh.
10 dogs.
Oh, geez. Ed, really?
Is
They're
it really
trying.
10, Ed?
They're trying to get them home.
Well, I know, but...
Yes, cause, CAWS.org. Help.
Oh, yeah, there's a water
Help
vortex.
poor Ed.
That's cool.
All right. Traffic, please.
Let's see. Traffic lights flashing red at the intersection 35th South Mountain View corridor. Crash northbound I-15 milepost 283. This is in Lehigh. Crash southbound I-15 milepost 313. It's the I-15-215 junction in Davis County. Crash southbound I-15 at Beck Street, US 89. And I think that's it. If you see something, you can let us know, 33986. That's also where you can text us your unusual items you have in your house. But we prefer your phone calls, 877-602-9700. 9696.
All right, KXRK Provo, thank you. We will take a break. We'll be back. More X-Poll after this. The question being, what is something that you have in your house that people just don't have? All right. 877-602-9696 is the number to call. Salt Lake Film Society.
Yeah, I was telling you about that La La Land Moonlight thing this weekend, and you might say, why those two? Well, it's
Gina, why those two?
Well, it's in honor of the Academy Awards a couple years ago when
both were nominated.
Both were nominated for Best Picture, and Warren Beatty screwed up and said the winner is La La Land, and it wasn't. It was Moonlight. And anyway, go see him.
And Warren Beatty has not been seen in public since.
That's right.
Make a weekend of it and see both of them, and then decide for yourself. Maybe you'll see why they both were nominated for Best Picture. Salt Lake Film Society is always doing kind of fun stuff like that. They have current films there also, but they do these special programs. That's why we love them so much. They're local, donor-supported, nonprofit cinema. They've got the best concession stand in the city. It's better than your house. I know you think you want to watch everything at your house. You don't have the concessions.
No, we don't make concessions at my house.
Go to the movies. Also join the Red Carpet Club. Support film festivals and retrospectives and events like this. Go to slfstix.org. Listen up.
Well, we ought to remind people again, we'll be in the Pride Parade on Sunday. Now, what have you got here?
Now, my wife knows people who know people.
That's handy.
And the person that they know works for Lay's in some capacity. Lay's potato chips.
Is that the Frito-Lay company?
Yeah, the Frito-Lay company. And they have put out these flavors are not available in stores yet.
They will they be?
They will be. These are flavors that they're going to put out.
Okay.
And they're interesting.
What have you got?
We start with masala.
What is masala?
It says here, inspired by tastes of India.
Okay.
Masala.
Uh-huh.
And then there's
Like
this
chicken
one.
tikka masala?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then this one, inspired by tastes of Korea, honey butter.
Well,
So,
now we're talking.
Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
Well, I'm closest to you.
Do you want to start with?
Easiest to handle.
Want to start with masala?
Sure.
Okay. Let me open that up. There you go. Oh, okay. They look like a barbecued chip kind of thing, but the masala. You should taste the star anise in there. You should taste the. You like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see.
I like it. It's a little spicy, not too spicy. I like
That's not bad.
I'd buy those.
Guy says that they've had masala in Canada for a while. I hear good things.
Yeah.
It kind of lingers with a little bit of a burn.
Yeah. But not crazy.
But not crazy burn. That's fine. Yeah, okay, here's honey butter. Let's try honey butter.
You know, the first time we had barbecue potato chips when I was a kid. That was about it.
I don't care for that. That's fake butter flavor. I don't like fake butter flavor.
I don't mind it.
I don't like that.
Let me look at the ingredients on there.
I like the other one better.
You like the masala, but not the honey butter?
Yeah, I need a palate cleanser with the masala.
Oh, you do?
I kind of like that.
I kind of like the honey butter. It's different.
Yeah. It's there's natural flavors.
It says natural flavors,
It
Gina.
could be anything. It's a natural flavor.
So when I'm growing up, we had potato chips, and then we have, I think the first variation was barbecue potato chips.
Yeah.
And then maybe sour cream and onion,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. And then I go to England.
Yes.
And I got ketchup potato chips and gravy potato chips.
Dill pickle.
Dill pickle potato. What? What's going on here?
Lamb. Remember lamb?
Lamb. Yeah, that's right. So potato chips are going crazy is what I'm saying.
I love it. I love it.
I like these.
Okay. Well, I'll have that sweet one then.
Yeah.
What stores will they be in? I don't know.
Look for them in a store near you.
I'm giving you the totality of my knowledge about this whole thing. She knows somebody who knows somebody. These aren't available yet, but they will be. That's all I know.
Is Inspired by the tastes of Korea.
I can think of other Korean chips that would be more savory.
The masala is a little spicy. It lingers.
Yeah.
It lingers.
There you go.
I'll take the honey butter.
All right.
Anyway.
Iceman and Draper texted, wants to know if you'll add him to your Facebook, if he can be your Facebook friend.
In Draper?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No?
Not Iceman
All
and
right.
Draper.
Oh, that guy.
No,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I know an Iceman in Bluffdale.
That's okay.
Not Draper. No.
All right, we're back with the Expo. Ladies and gentlemen, what is an unusual feature of your home or something that you have that makes your home unusual? Like 10,000 action figures in your apartment or just anything, let's just
you
go
have
to the
that
phone.
most people don't have.
There's a lot of phone calls.
All right, crazy cat lady. I think I know where this is going.
Hello, crazy cat lady. What have you?
I have got a collection of Reader's Digest back into 1974.
I like humor in uniform. That's one of my favorite sections.
Yep.
I love humor.
What do you have those for?
I don't know. I figure one day I'll go back and read them.
Think so?
Learn my history.
Do you still collect them, the new ones?
No, I don't have any of the new ones. I didn't know if they were even still making them anymore. I think
they are.
I think they do. Yeah, they went
I think
from.
I cut off in the aughts.
They went from. I know they went from that small format to a large format at one point, but then I don't know. I thought they were still around, but anyway, that's pretty. How many are there?
I don't know, a couple bookshelves full.
Jeez, crazy! You're crazy.
Well, you are crazy
I
cat
know.
lady.
Well, thank you.
All right.
I know.
I know.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Jesse is here.
Hey, Jesse.
Hi.
Hi. What do you got?
I have a meteorite, and not just one of those tiny little chips you get at a gift shop. It's one of those. It fits in your palm. It's pretty hefty.
Yeah. Cool. Is it heavy?
Oh yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's the size of a golf ball, but it weighs like a bag of golf balls.
Yeah, it's like I think there's a lot of lead in them, as I recall.
It hasn't.
Yeah, lots of metal stuff.
It hasn't affected your physiology or mood.
You haven't grown an arm or.
Well, I mean,
Turn you into a
that's
wolf.
not why I called. We don't need to talk about my third arm.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Jesse.
That's a different expo.
That's something. See you later.
All right. Let's go to Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. What have you
Hello.
got? What do you got?
Well, over the years, I realized people own pet pigs, and so I became obsessed with pet pigs.
Mhm.
So I went down to Kanab to go to Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, and I found this beautiful, brightly colored, painted canvas of a pig.
Mhm.
I got it from a gallery down there.
Uh-huh.
It's in really bright colors, and I don't know of anybody else that has something like that.
A bright
but
pig painting. Okay.
yeah, I'll have to send a picture of it to you
Please
guys,
do.
but I love it.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
just send us a picture of it at radiofromhell@x96.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye. Let's see. This is Francis. Hello, Francis.
Francis.
Hello there.
Hello. What have you got?
I've got a slot machine in my game room.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Does it
pay out?
Yes and no. It has specific coins that you use.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you use the coins, and it does hit jackpots, and it pays out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's from China or from Japan, so I call it an Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Is
when
it a pachinko kind of a game?
No, it's a slot machine.
slot machine.
And
Okay.
it doesn't use like real coins. It uses
its own
its own
yeah.
coins.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
You're right. It uses special coins, and so when it hits a jackpot, it just goes crazy, and it will, go off for like a half hour and just keep paying out.
Oh, cool.
Pretty fun.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mike is here. Hello, Mike.
What have you got? Mike?
Mike?
Oh, Mike.
I think we lost Mike.
All right. Cameron.
Hey.
Yeah, what have you got
How's it going?
that's unusual?
John Wayne Gacy paintings.
Ew!
Paintings, more than
there's
one.
you.
He did a bunch of clowns, I know.
You purchased these?
I did not. It's a family heirloom, and it's a real weird story.
Go ahead.
What is it?
My uncle worked for a post office box.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever was writing John Wayne Gacy quit paying his post office box, so they were like, toss his stuff. So they tossed his stuff and found a bunch of paintings in them.
Wow.
Now, those are worth something.
On the back of them, they're weird, too. They're like, hey, Cameron, or whatever the name is. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for writing me. You've given me a lot of attention. I have painted these paintings just for you. I hope you enjoy them as much as I painted them for you, or something weird like that.
So were these things he did in jail?
In prison?
In prison?
Yep, in prison.
Yeah, there you go.
That's...
How many do you have?
There's two of them. There was a third one. So there's the skull, the double skull, and then we had one of the clowns.
Oh,
so
man.
creepy.
Your house is haunted now.
All right.
Yeah, I think it really is. Yeah, we wrapped them up. If you guys want me to bring them in, I'd be happy to come show them to you.
Oh, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, or send us a photo.
You can just send a picture.
Either way.
All right.
I can do that.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
See ya.
Go to Damien. Hello, Damien.
Damien, what have you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for letting me listen.
You're welcome.
I have a Kwando. It's a traditional Chinese weapon.
What does it look like?
It's about 6 to 7 feet long. It has a large thick blade on one end and a spike on the other end.
Oh, so it's like a pole with... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
those.
yeah. And they're fairly heavy.
Mhm.
They were used to fight against the samurais on the horses.
Yeah, I saw it in a Daredevil.
Where did you come by this thing?
I train in Kung Fu. Been doing it for about 30 years. It's one of the forms I've learned how to do.
So you bought it for that purpose?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right.
All right, thank you, Damien.
Sweep the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to Eliza. Is it Eliza?
Hi, Eliza.
It's Elisa.
Elisa.
Okay. What?
So in my last basement apartment that I lived in, there was a window from the hallway to the bathroom. So the window didn't go to the outside. It went from the hallway to the bathroom.
What? Why? Do you know?
I don't know. The people who owned the house kind of did all of their own work in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were trying to create, like, more space. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
All of the countertops in the kitchen had, like, different countertops, and they weren't attached to the wall, and I accidentally knocked them to the floor.
Not
It was
well
a
done.
weird place.
I'm telling you, the reason they had the window there was so that somebody could watch when somebody was in the bathroom. You could watch somebody.
Probably.
All right.
Well, it was really convenient if somebody needed some toilet paper. We could just hand it through the window.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Very
and
strange.
we'll close out with Molly Mormon.
Hello. What do you have?
Well, it's what I had. It's in the house where I grew up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go down to the cellar, very dank, damp, old, and if you'd go around a corner, there was this little tiny room. Now, this might be hearsay, but what I was told my entire life is that it was part of the Underground Railroad.
It could have been if you were on the East Coast.
Yeah, probably.
Where you'd hide slaves that were making their way out from the South.
That's what they said. We weren't too far from Toronto, Canada. So
it probably was.
Could be.
Could very well have been. Well, that's it. But thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
Always nice to hear from you.
Yes. All right. Let's see. We got a couple of text people. Let's see. We have. I have an album cover of Blondie's Parallel Lines signed by all the band members.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Let's see. At one point, I had 21 Scorpions.
Jeez.
And then what happened?
Then what happened?
At what point?
They left.
Where are they?
They got away.
Oh, man.
I have a, you might have this too, Carrie. I have a it's Olympic pins.
Yeah.
And it's framed behind glass, and it's in the shape of a Coke. All these pins are put together in the shape of a Coca-Cola bottle.
I have the pins. I don't have the bottle.
Yeah, this.
Oh, no, I had that. I sold that. Yeah.
I keep thinking I should sell it because I don't have it hanging up anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot for it, but I sold it because I had no
that.
place to put it. You know.
I think it was from the Australia Olympics.
It was one of them. I had the same thing, and I sold it. Oh, cool. Well, there you go. Yeah. That is your X poll. Thank you very much. Traffic, please.
Crashed northbound I-15 milepost 283 in Lehigh. Also crashed southbound I-15 at the I-15-215 junction in Davis County. That's about it. Everything else looks like it's moving pretty well. If you see something not moving well, by all means, let us know via text, and I will pass it along. 33986.
All right, we're going to take a break, play a song, and after the song, it's Beat Gina time. Time to play Beat Gina. Multiple choice pop culture trivia. What is our prize today?
Tickets to the Kilby Block Party, May 15th through the 18th, Utah State Fair Park.
There you go. Kilby Block Party tickets, 877-602-9696 is the number to call. Play Beat Gina, win that prize. Line up as soon as possible, 877-602-9696. That is the number.
Things that must go on the.
I found a website that people will really like, I think, and I'll get to that in just a second, but because it has to do with bugs. I was at the University Pharmacy. I think it was on Monday, and I came out into the parking lot, and the guy who sort of takes care of the parking lot, Mike, said, "Oh, you see all these bugs, these little bugs flying around." I went, "Oh yeah." There are clouds of these little bugs. Have you guys seen them?
No.
Pay attention, like when you go home. And I saw it, and then I went home, and there were clouds of them all around my yard.
They're following you.
No, they're not. They're just everywhere. And I thought, what the hell is this? And so we did a little research, and actually, Uncle Todd found out what they were. These little nightmares are blue ash aphids, usually prevalent in the Pacific Northwest. Nobody is sure how they ended up this far south, but they're here until the first deep freeze. Unfortunately, because there are so many, that means they're going to lay eggs by the millions in the trees, and we're going to have them next spring. And so I did a little more research looking them up, and indeed they are in the past they have been confined pretty much to the Pacific Northwest. Up in Seattle, Oregon, around the Spokane area, and there are numerous news articles about them.
Okay.
How people are just, they're just annoying.
They look like a fly you would use for fly fishing.
Yeah, kind of. They're blue ash aphids, blue ash aphids.
You call them.
Yeah, blue ash aphids. They have furry butts, kind of.
Sure.
And so I thought I wanted to do more research. I'm looking up, and I'll bet some people are listening right now. You know what we're talking about, these clouds of, just watch for, it's sort of almost not noticeable, and if you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you realize there are thousands of them around. And so I went to this website that I found, and I would advise you all to look it up, because it's great, insectidentification.org. And it says there are over 1 million identified species of insects and spiders in the world, with many more still awaiting discovery. Now, with this website, you can find any of those million that have already been identified, and you can find them either by type of insect, like if you want to know types of spiders, types of beetles, or you can find insects by state. What insects are common to your state? And so I looked up Utah, and we could look at And then it's further broken down. Do you want to know about Utah spiders? You want to know about Utah dragonflies? Name something you want to. Utah. I don't know what Utah true bugs are. Maybe they're the ones you find only in Utah. Should we click on that?
Sure.
Let's see. Utah true bugs, and here's what we find. Something called the ambush bug.
That's a DC superhero, by the way.
The assassin bug. And I could, and then you can click on these and it'll tell you more about them. Let's see, the broke-backed bug. Any one of these you want to know about, let me know. The brown marmoted stink bug. How about the plant bug?
Plant bug?
Yeah. The Red Cross shield bug. That's kind of a beetle. All of those are pretty much beetles. But it's just fascinating how many different insects you can find. Spiders, butterflies, wasps, crickets. You can find, if you want to know just any green bugs in your state, any blue bugs in your state, you can just find all of them. It's just incredible.
Look up bark beetles.
Carrie's got bark beetles.
I got bark beetles.
Yeah, okay, Utah beetles.
It's killing the blue spruce.
Let's see, there it is, the bark beetle. Yep, it's killing it, and it says it loves evergreens, blue spruce.
It's ruining trees.
It's killed it pretty much.
Mm-hmm. But that's just one of many beetles. It's just incredible how many different varieties there are. And Utah dragonflies. There are 25 different species of dragonfly in Utah. There's the American ruby spot damsfly, the black saddlebag skimmer.
Look up the shoe fly.
You want to make a pie? Is that what you
look up? Lightning bugs.
Okay.
We don't have them here.
We don't have them here, and I'd like them here.
How do we get them here?
Can we get them here?
It's not hot enough here.
It's not hot enough.
It's not humid.
Yeah, it's not humid. It's too cold for them. If you've ever seen them, though, geez, they're incredible.
I've never seen them. That's the thing.
I in Georgia, and I think that's where I saw them.
I've seen them on that pirate ride at Disneyland.
Yep. So anything you want to know about bugs?
I hate these. The Johnson jumping spider. I hate the jumping spider.
They're kind of cool, though.
No, they scare me.
Well, yeah, but they're...
Because you go to get them, and then they...
But they are kind of cool. And so you've gone to the website, I see. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
All the different things you can find. The different spiders. The barn funnel weaver spider. The black-tailed crab spider. Ooh, there's an ugly one. What's that? The canopy. Oh, here, it's a jumping spider, Gina.
I hate the jumping spider.
It's the canopy jumping spider. They're hairy. It jumps on its prey. It packs a lot of personality, it says here. Found in the southeast and along the eastern coast, this particular spider is at home in forests.
This website makes me itchy.
It's an ambush predator that stalks and pounces on its insect prey. That's an interesting thing about the insect world. What do they eat? They all eat other insects. It's a cannibal.
On this day in 1968, Darcy
another reason
from The Smashing Pumpkins was born.
Nice. There you go. All right. Is this a sponsored feature, Gina?
Well, X96 presents Kilby Block Party May 15th through the 18th at Utah State Fair Park, featuring Weezer, New Order, Beach House, Devo, and more. Get your tickets in the full lineup at x96.com.
Well, it's time for another episode of Beat Gina. I'm your announcer, Johnny Ola, with this question for you ladies in the audience.
Oh?
Do you want to keep young and attractive? Well, the answer's obvious. And I have the answer. Use a few boxes of Dr. Campbell's Safe Arsenic Complexion Wafers.
What?
These miraculous wafers produce a firm, glowing skin of wondrous, youthful beauty. All pimples, wrinkles, blackheads, sallowness, and all facial blemishes disappear in a short time, as if by magic. You may have little or no success with other things you've tried, but no matter how skeptical you may be, try Campbell's Wafers. You'll not be disappointed. Physicians recognize there is but one way to beautify the skin and complexion. That is by purifying the blood. That is exactly what Campbell's Wafers do. Impure blood is the real cause of all skin troubles.
How many people died?
$1 per box, postpaid in plain cover from Richard Fink Company, Depot 93, 365 Broadway, New York. Also for sale by Liggett, Riker, Hegeman, and all reliable drugstores.
I mean, I'm serious.
And we're headed back there is the thing.
And now, here's a man whose blood is 99% pure naturally.
Well,
your Beat Gina host, Kerry Jackson.
Thank you, Johnny Ola.
You're welcome.
Professional game show announcer. The randomizer has picked a contestant. Gina, you'll be playing against Bonnie today.
Hi, Bonnie.
Bonnie, are you there?
Hi.
Hi,
yes,
Bonnie.
I am. Hi.
Right, let's get out the big game coin.
That coin is heavy.
It is heavy. And I'm going to toss the coin. You call it heads or tails. It will give you the advantage in the game.
I'm going for tails.
All right. Let's see what happens. It is tails, Gina.
There you go.
Yay!
All right, because it is tails, that means the first question is for you, Bonnie, to answer exclusively. It's multiple choice, pop culture trivia. If you get it correct, you get the point. If not, oh, beware. Gina was paying attention. She's going to steal your point away. We'll go back and forth till one of you gets 3 points. I have a final leftover Jack Nicholson trivia question, and then we'll get to the rest. All right, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson is childhood friends with Danny DeVito. Their relatives used to do what together? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Bonnie, was it 1, manage a hair salon? Is it 2, manage a grocery store? 3, paint the kangaroos on the tails of Qantas planes? Or 4, a large government shipping company that deals with regional logistics?
I'm going to go with 2, the grocery store.
Grocery store? Well, I kind of threw that in there to, make you think that was correct.
Gina?
Well, it must be a hair salon.
Hair salon is correct.
Yes. All right, that's 1 for Gina, and Gina controls the question.
All right, Gina, we're switching. Oh, it's another Jack Nicholson trivia.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson trained to be an actor with an acting group named what? Was it 1, the Players Ring? Was it 2, the Steppenwolf Theater Company? Was it 3, the Yelling and Stomping Around Players? Or the 4, Pretending and Standing in the Right Place Acting Company?
See, I think you're trying to trick me with Steppenwolf, because I know that one, but I don't know the Players Ring, which kind of makes me think it's the Players Ring.
That's it. 2 for Gina.
I share my process.
Oh, that's good. Good process.
All right, it's Bonnie's turn. It's 2-0, Bonnie.
Bonnie.
I'm ready.
Got to jump in here because, let's see, we got, let's do some Michelle Pfeiffer trivia. You know who Michelle Pfeiffer is, right?
I do, yep.
Okay. Michelle Pfeiffer's first major film role as the female lead nearly ruined her career. What role and movie was this?
You're giving her easy questions.
This role nearly ruined her career, and it was her first major film role. Is it 1, Stephanie Zanone in Grease 2? Was it 2, Susie Q in The Hollywood Knights? Is it 3, Iris in Sharks with Lasers Mounted on Their Heads Strike Again? Or was it 4, Mrs. Bubba in Bubba Two Guns Goes to Washington?
Oh. Can I do the second one?
Susie Q in The Hollywood Knights?
Yes.
No.
No, I have a soft spot for Grease 2. It's no Grease 1.
It sure isn't.
It isn't.
But I have a
Gina,
soft spot.
with a clean sweep, Bonnie.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
bing, bang, boom.
Wow.
That's pretty terrible.
It's all right. Bonnie,
I felt so confident.
Well,
I'm going to reward your confidence, Bonnie. Even though I beat you, I'm going to give you these Kill Bee block party tickets anyway.
Oh,
this is unprecedented,
thank you.
Bonnie. She's never done this before.
How nice. Oh, what a nice person.
Hang on the line.
So nice, so nice.
We'll tell you how to get those tickets.
Listen, I've got to get home. Mrs. Olo needs her wafers.
Her wafers.
Yes.
Arsenic.
Her arsenic wafers.
For her skin.
She needs them now.
Big Boy News now brought to you by...
Dive into Shark Summer at Clark Planetarium. Experience the jaw-dropping IMAX film Shark Kingdom. Grab limited edition shark gear and explore shark-themed fun for the whole family. It all starts Memorial Day weekend and runs all summer. Don't miss it. Adventure is circling.
Circling what?
It's like a shark, you know.
Oh, I see. Let's see. I don't know why people share these things. Tori Spelling's son Liam got a taste of adulthood in the Bahamas.
Oh.
The Beverly Hills 90210 alum shared on her Misspelling podcast. You see what she did there with her name?
Mm-hmm.
Misspelling?
Because she's Tori Spelling.
Yeah, so it's and then it's...
She's
okay,
terrible.
anyway.
She's a terrible person.
She said that during the family spring break trip to the island nation, the Bahamas, her 18-year-old son got the chance to drink alcohol. It was interesting because the legal drinking age there is 18, so he could legally have his first drink. He was like, "Are you okay if I try something?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course. You're in the Bahamas. It's legal. You're 18." Adding that he chose to try out a pina colada.
It's a good place to start.
The TV star noted that it was fascinating to see the differences in laws when it came to what 18-year-olds could and couldn't do in the Bahamas versus the U.S., something her son was also taken aback by. He was like, "This is weird, Mom. I'm able to drink here. And they can gamble, too," which we didn't do. But legally, they can't drive there until they're 18, but they can drink and gamble at 18. And here in the U.S., we can't drink or gamble till we're 21, but you can drive at 16. It's weird.
So Tori Spelling's kid did what every kid that age does in Puerto Rico.
This is the story.
And it's news.
It made the news, Carrie, because it wasn't Puerto Rico, it was Bahamas.
Or Bahamas, yeah.
That's why it made that. That's probably why it made I don't. Tesla's board of directors is reportedly shopping for a new CEO.
Good.
Behind Elon's back. And it's not because the stock is crashing, which it is.
Yeah.
It's because Musk may be spending too much time in Washington.
Yep.
According to the new Wall Street Journal report, Tesla directors began quietly contacting executive search firms over a month ago to find a possible successor to Musk. Now, don't worry. When they contacted me, I said no.
Oh, you should have said yes.
No, I don't.
Probably paid pretty well.
I know, but I said I'm loyal to what I'm doing now, and I have no desire to get involved with anything that Musk has touched. Now, while the electric vehicle pioneer has long been the face and a drive of Tesla's innovation machine, his growing entanglement with the government has alarmed investors and sparked internal concerns, and probably they should be concerned. So there's a big story here in the Salt Lake Tribune. Fugitive Ammon Bundy offers his thoughts on Trump, Musk, MAGA, Constitution, and Mormon prophecy. Why would anybody care what Ammon Bundy has to say about anything? Anything.
Exactly.
I started to read the story, and then I said, what am I wasting my time reading this for? I don't care what Ammon Bundy thinks about those things or anything else. Representative Blake Moore said during a telephone town hall Tuesday this week that he thinks the Trump administration should adhere to a recent Supreme Court ruling ordering the White House to facilitate the return of a recently deported Maryland man.
Yeah.
There should be an honoring of the Supreme Court by saying this individual needs to be brought back and come through the process, Moore said. That is something that I clearly agree with, and honoring that is going to build the, want to say political capital, but I don't know another term necessarily. He said just by honoring that due process, you're going to get more support from Americans to continue and make sure that what we do remedy the existing illegal immigration problem.
I think most people want to get this under control in the correct way, in the legal way. If there are bad people here that need to be deported,
yes,
let them have a hearing and present the evidence why they are bad people.
In the meantime, they're going to murder your family, Gina.
They're flooding the system to make things complicated and difficult.
On purpose.
It's by design.
Yeah. The Senate failed to pass legislation that would block Trump's unilateral tariffs on Wednesday after a 49-49 vote. It comes as new economic data reveals a decline in the U.S. GDP. Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky Republican, he's that guy with a mop on his head, helped sponsor the bill in an effort to rein in the president's power to impose those tariffs unilaterally. Paul teamed with Oregon Democratic Senator Ron Wyden to sponsor the legislation. Tariffs are taxes, and the power to tax belongs to Congress, not the president. Our founders were clear. Tax policy should never rest in the hands of one person. Abusing emergency powers to impose blanket tariffs not only drives up costs for American families, but also tramples on the Constitution. It's time Congress reasserts its authority and restores the balance of power, Rand Paul said. But the vote ground to a 49-49 tie and failed to pass on Wednesday night. The resolution also had almost no chance in the House, where language in a new rule protects Trump's tariffs. The economy is apparently tanking. Trump inherited a relatively strong economy, and he's been driving it into a ditch, but he's telling Americans a fantasy version of his first 100 days in office in which everything's going to be just great. I think it's the most consequential 100 days in the history of our country. That could be, but not for the reason he gives.
Exactly.
He said in a White House speech Wednesday, repeating a theme from earlier in the day, we just completed what many consider to be the most successful first 100 days of the administration, any administration in the history of our country. Things are happening that are amazing.
Again, not for the reason that you're trying to tell us.
Homeland Security won't give won't say how it calculates immigration arrest numbers. The numbers have already surpassed the entirety of fiscal year 2024, and we're just 100 days into the administration, the department said. But they won't respond to questions about how they arrive at those figures.
It's because they're just saying it.
Yeah. They have no method.
Yeah.
They're just saying it. Man was critically injured, and it's a sort of a wonder this doesn't happen more often. After he plunged about 20 feet from the stands to the ground at Pittsburgh Pirates' home game at PNC Park on Wednesday. The man was seen tumbling in the air before he landed on the warning track area of the right field during the seventh inning. They had, of course, stopped the game as the players looked on shocked. He was taken to Allegheny General Hospital, where he's in critical condition. The Pirates said in a statement, Pittsburgh EMS, as well as the Pirates and Cubs athletic training teams and other PNC Park personnel, reacted and responded immediately. A person who witnessed the incident said it happened really fast. The man fell from the 21-foot wall. It was quick.
Something happened.
I couldn't tell if he jumped or fell.
He didn't jump. The report I read said that something good happened in the game, and they were celebrating. Yay!
Oh.
And he was pretty drunk, it seemed, and just while he was celebrating, he fell off.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
Yeah. He just kind of, basically, yeah.
And finally, we talked about this movie in Geek News, the Weapons. And Warner Brothers is going the creepy viral route to promote Weapons, this new child horror film from Barbarian writer-director Zach Krieger, or I guess Krieger or Kreger?
I don't know.
It looks like.
See, there's the kids running in the street.
Yeah, now what they've done is it is a 2-hour unlisted video, which is 2 hours of surveillance video, and that's what it is.
It's the Ring
kids
cameras
running through the street.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's innocuously titled 2025 6:17 a.m. It's a wonderful bit of mystery to raise interest in what's already one of the most anticipated horror films of the summer.
Okay.
Last night at 2:17 a.m., every child from Mrs. Gandy's class woke up and got out of bed and went downstairs and opened the door, walked into the dark, and never came back. And it's 2 hours of kids running around like that. That's just creepy.
Yep. I'm telling you, watch Barbarian. It's just, I'll
see if I can find it. I don't know if I want to.
You keep saying that. That makes me not want to see it.
Oh, it should make you want to see it. Because, I don't get creeped out that easily. But this, man.
All right, that's it.
All right. Sports weather traffic.
The Atlanta Falcons and Jeff Ulbrich fined $350,000. This is over that prank call to Shedeur Sanders. Whatever you think of Shedeur Sanders,
it was mean.
This was mean. And so the coach or one of the coaches from the Atlanta Falcons had his iPad just out, and his teenage kid, walked by and went, "Oh, look at that! There's Shedeur Sanders," because they have specific phone numbers that are only given to NFL coaches.
Oh, okay.
So on draft day,
all right,
if that phone is ringing, that's an NFL coach.
Even if it says anonymous or blocked, you pick it up.
And the kid said, "Oh, we're calling from the New Orleans Saints, and you're going to be drafted." And it was mean. They shouldn't have done that.
I was trying to figure out how they weren't able to identify him quicker.
Yeah, they knew exactly who it was. Let's see. In the NBA, the Lakers are out. Flea, I follow him on Twitter. He was very upset. He's one of the biggest Lakers fans. They're done. They lost 103-96 to Minnesota. Rockets over the Warriors, 131-116. Looks like the Warriors are leading that series. Nuggets over the Clippers, 131-115. Denver's leading that series. Today you've got the Knicks and the Pistons and the Nuggets and the Clippers. In the NHL yesterday, Jets over the Blues, Panthers over the Lightning, Capitals beat the Canadiens. Today you've got the Maple Leafs and Senators, Stars and Avalanche, and the Golden Knights and Wild. Weather, beautiful day today, sunny, 68 for a high. Friday, also beautiful, 77, very warm. Saturday, even warmer, 82. Then things start to change Saturday night into Sunday. 40% chance of showers. Sunday, 70%. And it stays cool in the 50s and rainy through the first part of next week, it looks like. Traffic, we have a crash. 90th South, 7th West, affecting the left lane there. And that looks like that is about it. And you haven't sent anything in via text. But you can, even if it's like this, crash northbound I-15 seems to be cleared up, everything running smooth until Draper. You can even send us stuff like that. We appreciate it when you do. 33986, Haster Games for board games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, miniatures, dice paints, and more. Haster Games, 6831 South State, or HasterGames.com.
All right, we will take a break. We'll be back after these messages. Gerky will be here. And then just after 9 o'clock, well, we'll have some messages and a song, and then it's the Boner Recap game. We'll tell you how to play and what you'll win, all coming up. Stand by.
Listen to
I go to my porch this weekend, and there was a package there, and I'm thinking, well, I didn't order anything. And I opened it up, and inside, there's no note or anything. Inside, I see a giant package of the Reese's Caramel Big Cups. Now, I didn't order this, and I know my husband didn't order it.
Of course, no. As a matter of fact, you're hiding it from him, aren't you?
That's why I brought it
he never
to
listens
work.
to the show.
That's why I brought it to work. But then my very next thought was, I know who sent
Your
this.
son did.
And I sent a picture of it to Festus, my sailor son, and I said, "Did you do this?" And he immediately called me, and he said, "I was watching the Super Bowl."
Oh, yeah.
And he said, "I thought Carrie and Bill would like these, so would you make sure they get them?"
They get them. I don't have their addresses.
And I thought, who would appreciate the Reese's Caramel Big Cup?
Carrie and Bill. So what do you?
So these are the caramel big cups.
They're heavy. That's a good. Well, it's a good 1.4 ounces.
Yeah, this is the candy that eats like a meal.
Well,
it's good and solid.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it had caramel on top of it because of the picture's deceiving.
No, it's like a layer with the, the peanut butter.
You get a layer inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I did bring these to work not only to share with you, but also if I have these at home, I will eat all of them, and that's not.
So good. You'll leave them at your desk and eat all of them here.
Well, I'll have a few of them, but I'm sharing them with. And
so there's two gone.
And Katie and Macy, if you guys want one, you can come get one too.
Interesting.
Do you like it?
Well, it's not as chewy caramel as I was expecting. It's a caramel-like substance.
It's not gooey. It's not like you pull it away from your mouth and there's a string.
It's not sticking to your teeth either.
Which is a good thing, I guess.
I think I'd rather have it a little chewy.
Oh, okay. Well, so thank you, Festus. There's a little snack for.
Text us at 33986.
Is this sponsored, Gina?
It should be.
All right.
Well,
Who's
here he
that
is.
journalist? The pickle guy. Gerky. Gerky. Radio from Hell on X96.
That news hound, that ink slinger.
The nose gives the news hound away.
Yeah, it's Bob Gerky, Robert Gerky, columnist and reporter for the Salt Lake Tribune. Before we, let me just ask you, here in the Salt Lake Tribune, it says, fugitive Ammon Bundy offers thoughts on Trump, Musk, MAGA, Constitution, and Mormon prophecy. Who wants to know what he thinks about anything?
Wait till you see his 17 beauty tips.
Okay, now I'm listening.
6 tricks that will drive her wild in bed. It's going to be a blockbuster.
There we go. We didn't get a chance to really chat before we went on. What are you working on?
You know, the last week has mostly been tracking the signature verification for this referendum on the union repeal.
Very successful.
It's been overwhelmingly successful. I think they haven't posted today's numbers yet, but they'll probably get clear 200,000 verified signatures. They needed 140,000. It's by far the most signatures that's ever been gathered.
Which means you can expect next session they're going to try to increase that number.
Well, what are they saying? What are the legislators saying about it? What's Adams saying about it?
They've been pretty quiet, but there is this group that's been formed to oppose the repeal. They're saying that they're focused on they're not going to try to knock it off, because right now, after all the signatures are verified next week, they finish that up. The opponents have 45 days to go around and try to get people to withdraw their signatures from the petition.
Yeah.
But with 200,000, it's a futile effort. So they're going to say, okay, well, we're going to focus on educating the public, making sure that they vote against the repeal in 2026. There's also been some talk, and I don't know how serious this is, but last week I was hearing some rumors that the legislature might repeal the original bill and replace it with something a little bit watered down, and that would then knock them back to square one. I don't know if that's the direction they're
kind of dirty pool.
It is a little bit.
I'm just curious why they don't want to honor the will of the people.
Well, it's been overwhelming, like you said, and it's 150,000 was the previous record. The medical cannabis initiative back in 2018 got about 150,000, which was the most that we'd ever seen in the state. They're going to clear 200,000, probably get to 230-ish when all is said and done. They needed 15 districts. They're probably going to get close to 20 of the state Senate districts. And so, yeah, it's a pretty strong, not a pretty strong showing. It's an overwhelmingly strong showing by the union people. One of the things I did last week is I went up to Davis County and saw how they were doing these signature verifications, because there's been a lot of the folks who are, skeptics of the whole signature process. They were questioning how these signatures are verified. And it's so incredibly boring, I got to tell you. They take they've got these bankers boxes full of these petition packets, and they take them one at a time, and they just have people typing names in, and then they compare them to the signatures on the thing. They're looking for, the letters, the loops, the slant of the thing.
My signature has changed so radically over the last few years.
Well, and that can be a problem too. And so if people want to check to see if their signature was verified, there is a spreadsheet that's on vote.utah.gov, and I can link to it after we're done here, and you can go search that and see make sure that yours was verified.
So it's all transparent.
Yeah, it's all pretty transparent, and about 22% of the signatures that have been turned in so far have been rejected because they say they don't match.
If you sign twice, is that automatic? Does that disqualify?
They'll
you?
count the first one, not the second one. Yeah.
Okay, so they won't just cut you off.
They won't throw them both out
because you accidentally maybe signed twice.
Correct. And one of the other things that was kind of interesting is yesterday Utah County is so far behind on signature verification. They had the LG's office earlier this week posted some numbers that said they'd only gone through 17% of them so far, which means they've got 83% left in the last week. I talked to the clerk yesterday, and he said part of that is they had two people. They were double checking them all. Everyone. Bill would check and say, okay, this is good, and then Carrie would check it and say, okay, this is good before it got done. So they were way behind. The clerk says they think they'll get through it. They're about 2/3 of the way through now, and so. Making some progress there. But, voters can start preparing for 2026. That repeal effort is going to be on the ballot, so barring some sort of other
We're
change.
probably not, though, going to have somebody knock on our door and say, will you take your name off this petition, please?
Well, the proponents of the unions are still saying if you do get approached to take your name off, stay strong, keep your voice, keep your signature on there. But it sounds like right now, based on what these opposition groups are saying, they recognize that would be a waste of time just because it's not going to be effective.
They gave me, when I signed it, she said, no, I have to give you this piece of paper. and it says how to take your name off if you want it. If you think twice about it.
They're required by law to give you that.
Yeah.
So
I threw it away immediately.
Yeah, you can keep this. The other thing that's kind of interesting, I think, is that this is going to be. We haven't seen a lot of these referendums. The last one we actually had on the ballot was 2007, when voters said no, we don't want school vouchers. It's going to be. It's not very common that this happens, because to think about it, they only had 30 days to get these signatures, and to get 320,000 of them in that period of time is pretty remarkable.
Is it so naive for me to want that people that run for office genuinely want to do the people? I'm being serious here. Do the people's business, and even if you personally didn't believe that this was a good bill, thinking, well, this is obviously what the people want. So
Gina, some do, but you have to remember, here in Utah, if you look up the word patriarchy, you're going to find Utah ranked at the very top. This is the patriarchy we live in, and as I have said for years, the legislature wants to be your dad.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're looking ahead to stop any change down the road.
It was kind of interesting that a couple of the first Senate districts they got, one of them was Kurt Cullimore's. He was the Senate sponsor of this bill. Mm-hmm. They got Stuart Adams real early. He's the Senate president, who was a big proponent of this bill. And so the senators from these districts who were the biggest proponents of it were some of the ones where their constituents were most adamantly opposed to this. I think another thing that voters probably need to be on the lookout for is some of the messaging that's going to be going on around this, because the opponents are saying, well, this only affects a few people. It doesn't really affect most of the police, most of the firefighters. This is really just the teachers, getting upset about this. But it's also, if you remember the Salt Lake City Library, they unionized, and, like a week after they were recognized by the city, they got this bill passed, and it would impact them. It would impact sanitation workers, nurses up at the University of Utah, and others up at the U. So it's a little bit more.
And you're going to hear things like, well, you're going to have big union money coming in from out of state. Big union, the big teachers union money, the big.
And there will be be a lot of that. I mean, the National Education Association kicked in more than $1.8 million to the signature gathering effort, but that's because. That's largely because these things are so expensive, because you're on such a tight time frame, and getting that many signatures is a pretty heavy lift.
Yeah. One other quick thing: you see Dan McKay floating the idea of sending Utah prisoners to El Salvador.
Well, yeah, what was he thinking when he said? Is he floating it to see if people object?
I think Dan McKay can be a bit of a troll sometimes. I think he was trying to draw a reaction. I don't think that
he's funny.
He's a lawyer, and he knows that that's going to because part of, in theory, okay, even if we did do that, you can't. The government shouldn't lose custody, shouldn't lose supervision and oversight. If you're taking away somebody's liberty and freedom, right, for committing a crime, you're going to put them in prison, take away their liberty. You kind of need to make sure that you still have supervision and control over those people. You don't just send them to a third world country.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's what I say.
Out of mind to save some bucks. And so and also like part of the reason people go to prison is for rehabilitation. If they're in theory they're not on very few occasions are people not at some point going to get out of prison. And so you've got to have people rehabilitated. They've got to have an education. They've got to have some skills for when they get out, and so you're not going to be getting any of that in El Salvador. So I think Dan was just messing with people, and I think a lot of people took the bait. He probably chuckled the whole time.
But how can he think this is good for him to do that? I mean, because
it doesn't hurt him.
It just makes him look crazier to the independents and Democrats.
Well, I don't think those are the people he's worried about in his
he's not
particular
worried about
Senate district. Although, there's been some talk he wants to maybe run for Congress at some point. So I guess it could come back to haunt him in that regard. But, he picked this fight with Sundance, right? I think he was kind of trolling when he did that.
Look what it got him.
You know, he picks fights over a lot of these silly things on social media. Some of these guys, you know, Senator Weiler is kind of an example of it. When you talk to him in person, he seems fairly reasonable and normal.
Yeah.
And then you read his Twitter profile and his persona online, and I think everybody's guilty of this in some way. We kind of turn it up to 11, and when we get on our Twitter machine and say things that we wouldn't say to people.
I do it here.
You do it here.
Yeah,
You've got a radio program.
I do it
though.
here.
Not everybody has that.
I think they do it just to see if people push back. You know,
I think they do it to upset some people.
It's a trial balloon.
Yeah, you know. We've seen it with Mike Lee. We talked about it last time I was here about how he's just constantly online and doing this sort of stuff.
Oh man, did you ever hear from anybody about that story?
No, I don't expect to. He doesn't like the Tribune, so we don't get to talk to him anymore.
Oh, so he could just say fake news.
He thinks we're the legacy mainstream media, and we're going the way of the dinosaurs.
And even though you did the math and can prove it all. It's fake news.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Jesus.
Robert Gerky, read his columns and stuff in the Salt Lake Tribune,
sltrib.com.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Robert.
Guys.
Thank you. Traffic, Gina?
The crash in the cleanup stages eastbound 90th South, 7th West and Sandy, blocking the left lane. Also in the road construction zone, it's just leaving one right lane open through there. Let me check our message stream. Nope, nobody sent anything in there. You can, though, anytime you like. It's open 24/7, 33986.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back after these messages and a song with the Boner Recap game. Easy to play, easy to win. All you have to do is tell us who won the Boner this morning. If you were listening, you know. If you weren't listening, you could probably guess, but why take the chance? Go ahead and cheat. Go to x96.com, look for the box that says Boner Voting, May 1, 2025. Click on there, and it'll say winner next to the correct answer. What is the prize?
Tickets to see Andy Bell of Erasure November 21st at the Marquee in Park City.
Andy Bell of Erasure up in Park City. Tickets, 877-602-9696. That's the number to call. Line up as soon as you can. The sooner the better. Play the Boner Recap game, and you'll win those concerts.
We were talking about it off the air. Did we make a decision? Because I was once I said, "Well, I don't care." Then I put my head down and I took a brief nap. So I'm not sure what.
Well, as I recall,
it's Radio from Hell with another list because people love a good list. X96.
We could do dueling lists.
I've got brilliant phrases, 11 brilliant phrases that make people trust you immediately.
In this new Trump era, that could come in very handy.
That could come in handy. What's your list?
Mine is weapon-inspired baby names that glamorize violence. And what reminded me of this is when Pete Hegseth was doing his confirmation and listing off or trying to list off his children.
He forgot some of his kids' names.
But like one of them is Remington,
and one of them is Gunner, But they don't all have.
They don't all, but some of them do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Dueling list?
Why is Remington? Why is Remington a weapon name? That's a typewriter.
It's a gun, Bill.
I thought it was a razor blade.
And also a razor blade. Well, that could be a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just back and forth.
All right. Go ahead. Who wants to start?
Go ahead, Gina.
Shooter. These are
Shooter
names
Jennings.
People are giving their children.
Waylon Jennings named his kid Shooter. Here's a brilliant phrase that will make someone instantly trust you.
Okay.
Maybe Pete Hegseth could have used this.
All right.
I'd love to hear more about your experience.
No, he would never do that.
No, probably not.
No.
But if you say that, people will think, oh, that's a trustworthy person.
Colt.
I've known several Colts.
Weapons-inspired baby names. You shouldn't name your kid.
But again, I think of baby horse.
Yeah, I think
that's what I think
of Baltimore.
There you go. They're the Baltimore Colts. They're not the Baltimore Guns.
They're not.
They're horses. Here's a phrase that will make people trust you immediately. I completely understand where you're coming from.
Pete Hegseth would never say that.
I don't think I'd ever say that either.
Ruger.
Who's naming their kid Ruger?
Somebody. These are names people have given their children.
I've heard it.
terrible.
I think Ruger is also a candy, though, isn't it? A candy bar?
I don't know.
It's like a Ritter Sport, but they're Rugers.
I've never heard of it.
I think that's true. Here's a phrase that you say this, people will instantly trust you. What can I do to help support you?
Yeah, Pete Hegseth would never say
No.
that.
He would never say that.
None of the Trump administration would ever say that.
Weapons-inspired baby names you shouldn't name your kids. Winchester.
Winchester Cathedral.
Charles Emerson Winchester III.
And it is a gun.
Well, yeah, but it's also a long-storied,
Proper
era.
name.
It's a long-storied place in England. Make people trust you if you say, I appreciate this about you. And then whatever this is, I really appreciate this about you.
Ruger, crisp, delicious chocolate wafers.
It's like a Ritter Sport.
Yeah.
Except it's a Ruger.
Tell them you named your kid after a candy, though.
Yeah.
A British candy.
Yeah. Cannon.
Well, there's a guy that they talk about every once in a while on the radio. His name is Rusty Cannon.
It's a terrible name.
He's a local political guy.
Is he?
Yeah, Rusty Cannon.
I don't trust him immediately.
I don't either.
Even if he were to say something like,
you did a great job navigating that situation.
I still wouldn't trust Rusty Cannon.
No.
How about Blade?
Blade,
a weapon-inspired baby name. Blade.
I named you after my favorite vampire hunter, my favorite daywalker.
That's a pretty bad name.
That is, yeah.
Here, you want people to trust you? Say this. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? I have some thoughtful, honest feedback I'd like to give you.
Apparently somebody named their kids this. Caliber.
Who would do this?
Apparently somebody did.
Pete Hegseth would do this.
I don't know if Caliber is a boy name or a girl name.
Is it Cal for short?
I don't think it matters. Yeah. And then when that person dies, they would be an Excalibur.
Hey!
Nice. Here, people will trust you if you say this. Let's try looking at this from a different perspective.
That's something Pete Hegseth would say.
Maybe, yeah.
But his perspective would be skewed and white and male.
Weapon-inspired baby name Dagger.
Who would do
that? These are all names.
Now, Dagger's a Marvel superhero.
A good guy or a bad guy?
Good girl.
Oh, good girl.
Good girl?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cloak and Dagger.
Dagger. I don't know. Here, you want people to trust you, say things like this. I think I need some space to think about this. That's what that is you're putting things off. That's
yes,
what it says
exactly.
to me.
Weapon-inspired baby name Beretta.
Well, hey, come on, Robert Blake.
The guy what murdered his wife. I'll name my
Beretta.
Name my kid after him.
You can take that to the bank. All right, let's see. So this will inspire people to trust you. And nobody in the Trump administration would ever say this.
No.
I will take full responsibility for this.
That will never be said. In the next 4 years, that will never be said.
No.
This is sounds like a Sarah Palin kid. Trigger.
That's Roy Rogers' horse.
Call him Trig.
Trig?
Yeah. And Trig sounds like a venereal disease.
Yes.
Got a bad case of Trig.
Yeah.
Here, now, this you will never hear from the Trump administration.
Okay.
This is a phrase that make people respect you. I respect your privacy.
That's not
never going to hear that.
No, you will never hear that.
No.
Just some text coming in about the weapon baby names.
Mm-hmm.
My son goes to school with a renegade.
Oh, God.
Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Well, yes.
I have a cousin named Ruger.
Named after a candy.
I know a Gage.
Oh, yeah,
says
Gage.
Here.
That's
I know Gage. We all know Gage.
We all
Gage
know
Frohr.
Yeah.
No weapon-inspired baby
Gage
names.
is also an old term for a marijuana cigarette.
That's true.
Give me a Gage,
Hope
man.
you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
Don't call this day drinking. This is refined. This is special. Cheers, everybody. Don't call this day drinking. This is refined. This is special. Cheers, everybody.
Taylorsville says that Cranberry song is very aggressive in Taylorsville.
In Taylorsville. Because on this day in 1996, Cranberries released their third studio album, To the Faithful Departed, featuring Hollywood, When You're Gone, Free to Decide, and that song, Salvation. We used to play that quite a bit.
Nice song.
I like it. All right. Well, let's see. I do believe it is time for the boner recap.
Well, is there someone there who would like to try and do that?
Tony is here.
Tony. Good morning.
Good morning. I love the Cranberries.
Good. I'm glad we played that for you. That was just for you, Tony.
We knew that somehow.
All right, Tony.
Oh, thank you.
What are you doing?
I just registered my camper van and going to go another year with it, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Is it a Volkswagen?
It's a big Ford, big lifted Ford that's rusted out. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got beds in it and stuff for camping.
Yes, but I've got a bench that's just bolted to the wheel well, so I don't really strap my kids to that anymore.
Oh boy! Well, Tony, you sounds like you're a really good father. Tony, if you can. If you can recap the boners here, I'll recap them. You tell me the winner. You'll win a prize, which is what, Gina?
Tickets to see Andy Bell of Erasure November 21st at the Marquee in Park City.
All right. Did you hear the boner candidates earlier, Tony?
I didn't, but I have an idea of what they're about.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go through them real quickly here. Boner candidate number one was, oh, come on, it was just a joke. Bunch of little snot-nosed lacrosse players up in Syracuse, New York, involved in a hazing incident of younger teammates that was, well, the district attorney there said it was way beyond hazing. They used a gun and a knife, and it was frightening, and these kids should be facing some criminal charges.
Yes.
Boner candidate number two was, when I say that all the science on fluoride, I mean one really flawed and largely discredited study on fluoride. You know, because I read this study and it says the more fluoride you get, the stupider you are. That's what JFK Jr. said.
There is no evidence.
No. And he also made the false claim that the MMR vaccine contains aborted fetus debris.
It's not true.
All right, and boner candidate number three, even my hat has a hat. That card, Elon Musk, man, he was funny. Only Elon could get away with that. He's a joker. He was wearing two hats during a presidential flattering meeting. It's a meeting called with the cabinet members, and they go around the table, and
Dear leader. It's dear leader.
Yeah, each one has to flatter dear leader, and Elon wore two hats, and it was funny. All right, Tony, who was the winner?
I believe it was the worm in RFK Jr.'s brain.
Yep, that's right. All the science on fluoride. Yeah, you win. You're going to go see Andy Bell. Take somebody you love with you, okay?
I will. I love Erasure. I'm really excited. Thank you.
All right.
Hang on.
Hang
Tony.
on. Yeah, again, I can't recommend that episode of John Oliver from Sunday night.
I'll dig it up and watch it.
It's a whole breakdown of RFK Jr.
And that was before we got there's fetal debris in vaccines comment.
Exactly.
I'm sure next week he'll be like, I wish we had this information to add to it. We had to do the show before this came out.
It is amazing. Just to go back to Erasure there, that we've had several people now say They're very happy to win tickets to see Andy Bell and how much they love Erasure.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. It's I guess there's a fondness for one of the seminal bands we used to play a lot, Erasure, and I don't think I liked them as much when we played them as when I hear them now. You know what I mean?
Well, I was certainly that way with New Order.
Yeah, you didn't care for them that much.
I didn't care for New Order until it's just been the past 8 years, I think, that I went, oh, okay.
I kind of get it now.
I get it now.
I mean, I've always had a guitar bias,
Mm-hmm.
and if there are songs without guitars in them, I don't care for them.
You have the tendency to dismiss them,
which meant
But you like New Order,
sure, yeah.
I mean, they're mostly synth.
Yeah,
but,
as you have said, I appreciate them more now than I did. I appreciate the Smiths more now than I used to.
Yeah,
and they had guitars in that.
That's unusual for you. I think that's unusual for you though, because you really didn't like the Smiths.
You didn't care for the Smiths.
Care for them.
But as you go back and sort
I
of
appreciate them now.
You listen to the lyrics, or
yeah, just don't listen to Morrissey speak about anything.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. So it'll separate the art from the artist.
And has anybody ever explained the Morrissey's appeal with the Hispanic population? He's very big.
He's very popular.
Like in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Very popular with them. And I don't know if anybody's ever really explained that.
Trent would be the guy to be able to explain that, I think.
We can ask him next time.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
So there's an interesting dichotomy. Trent.
Yeah.
Trent Falcone.
Mr. Death Metal.
Yeah, death metal screamer, and he loves Morrissey.
Yeah.
So that's a guy. That's a guy with broad taste.
He's got several Morrissey tattoos.
Yeah.
All right. We will take a break. We'll be back after these with some big boy news and a Penuendo. Stand by. Oh.
Hey. It's often said that people of Utah speak a language all their own. It's a language that's often confusing and even incomprehensible to newcomers here in the Beehive State. So, Radio from Hell presents a handy guide to help everyone understand how the natives speak. It's the Utah word of the day, and today's word is
pill. P-I-L-L, pill. And variants of the word too, pilling, pilled, pillar. And now the mayor of Mona, Utah, the Honorable Don Criddle, and his son Denver, be listening for the word pill and its variations.
Son, when are you going to learn? Being the son of the mayor of Mona, Utah, comes with certain responsibilities. You cannot just be going off half-cocked all the time, Denver. The Criddle name is still strong and respected, no matter what shenanigans you and your hoodlum friends are doing.
What do you mean, shenanigans, Daddy? Is that a French word or something?
What I mean is the tomfoolery that you and your chums have been engaged in down to the church parking lot. Now, we Criddles are considered pillars of the community. We can't be associated with the ruckus that you boys have been committing.
I ain't sure what tomfoolin' ruckus you're referring to, Daddy. What did we do?
When I say ruckus and church parking lot, what does that suggest to you, son? I'll tell you what it suggests. You and your hoodlum chums that you and your mother and I have warned you to stay away from was creating a bunch of noise and such down to the ward parking lot late at night. There's neighbors around that ward house, Denver. And when you send them, when you and them ne'er-do-wells you run with, them boys from up to Payson, start burning rubber in the parking lot at 2 a.m., well, folks are going to complain.
Oh, I know, Daddy. I'm sorry. It don't look good for the mayor's son, me, Denver Criddle, to be doing that kind of thing, does it? I'm really sorry.
Well, I know that you know better, son. So why was you with them boys pilling out in the parking lot?
I just got carried away, Daddy. Phil and Paul come down from Payson in Paul's new muscle car, and Phil said, "You want to see Paul's car burn rubber? You can really make it peel out." If we hadn't been drinking Mountain Dew, I would have said no. But, well, like I said, I got carried away.
I understand, son. Nothing makes you feel more manly than a high-performance engine and the smell of burning rubber.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great appeal to pilling out, especially when you're young. I remember when I was 30.
Thank you, Daddy. And what about Mom? Is she going to be mad?
Well, maybe. But don't you worry, son. I'll just tell her to take a chill pill.
Join us again some other time as we examine how the Utah natives speak with the Utah Word of the Day.
All right. Is this a sponsored feature, Gina?
Tired of paying too much for concerts? Experience great live music and enjoy adult beverages without paying stupid prices at Salt Lake's coolest venues. Check out Levitation Room with the Lingo this Sunday, May 4th at the State Room. Get tickets at thestateroompresents.com.
Thank you.
Great. Well, Katy Perry knows the world is going to hear her roar, and she's okay with it. In fact, the 40-year-old recently penned a note to fans thanking them for their support amid criticism for the Blue Origin flight she participated in, alongside other crew members, including Gail King and Lauren Sanchez, and reassuring them that she's doing just fine. The comment section of a fan account, Katy began by thanking fans for being on this journey with her, noting, "I can continue to remain true to myself, heart open and honest, especially because of our bond. Please know I'm okay. I've done a lot of work around knowing who I am, what is real and what is important to me. When the online world tries to make me a human piñata, I take it with grace and send them love, because I know so many people are hurting in so many ways, and the internet is very much so a dumping ground for unhinged and unhealed. I'm not perfect. I actually have omitted that word from my vocabulary. I'm on a human journey, playing the game of life with an audience of
Shut up! Shut up!
Well, Billy Corrigan cannot catch a break with that tea shop of his.
What tea shop?
Yes.
He
has a tea shop.
He has a tea shop.
Of course.
It's called Madame
I know, right?
Zuzu's.
He's kitties and teas.
Yeah. It's called Madame Zuzu's. It's a tea shop in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park. and his street doesn't look particularly dangerous. It's not like Madame Zuzu's is right on a sharp curve in the road or something. But in the past 6 months, 2 different cars have crashed into Madame Zuzu's.
I think they have it out for Zuzu's.
Last October, a car drove over the curb and directly into the front window of Madame Zuzu's. Billy Corrigan's mother-in-law was eating in the restaurant with her grandson at the time, and she was hurt. The driver was also hospitalized, and the tea shop had temporarily shut down. And then it happened again yesterday. As WGN9 reports, another car crashed into the front of Madame Zuzu's. On Instagram, the tea shop's account reports that nobody was hurt after a car struck the front of the cafe. In news reports, you can see some damaged bricks in the front of the building. That's the extent of it. But please, Highland Park drivers, please.
Stop driving into Billy. It's not a drive-through.
No.
Maybe that's the problem.
You have to walk up to it.
Well, Kraft Foods just unveiled for Mother's Day the beloved household brand Kraft Mac and Cheese.
Yes.
Said that it has successfully completed its mission to elevate a beloved childhood craft, macaroni necklaces made of dried pasta and yarn, in such a way that even luxury fine jeweler Ring Concierge got involved, revealing the new Kraft Mac and Cheese times Ring Concierge Forever macaroni necklace. Nope. And it's a limited edition 14-karat yellow gold macaroni-shaped pendant. Strung on a matching 16-inch gold chain and presented in a custom signature Kraft Mac and Cheese blue box.
I'd rather have bacon from Harmon's.
Yep.
There you go. Bill Belichick is speaking out for the first time after his now viral interview with CBS Sunday Morning and defending his girlfriend Jordan Hudson. Belichick issued a statement on Wednesday regarding his interview in promotion of his new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from a Life in Football, that went sideways when Hudson shut down journalist Tony DeCopel's question about how they met. I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday Morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist, Simon & Schuster, that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Belichick began.
She was right there. It would be weird if the interviewer didn't ask him about his relationship with her. She was standing right there.
Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony Tony, that the producers that I prefer and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book, not my life with Jordan. This occurred several times. Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion. That's why she said, we're not going there. We're supposed to talk about the book. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job to ensure that the interview stayed on track. So
nice try.
Yeah.
It was weird. We all watched it.
I didn't think it was that weird. Especially in light of the fact if he said, yeah, I'd like to come on and talk about the book, but I don't want to talk about anything else.
But that description makes it sound like he was perfectly clear when he was talking about the book. He couldn't even talk about the book very, very well. Why? He was not well during that interview, not just about the Jordan stuff. The whole thing was weird.
Certainly not.
Let's see what else we have here. We have, let me go over to this page. Post Malone up at Rice-Eccles Stadium. The first show of the stadium tour.
Yeah, the fireworks woke me up. I was asleep when they went off.
The Post Malone's first ever stadium show in Utah. He provided a special treat for fans, a homecoming for him and them. Tuesday night, Malone kicked off his big-ass stadium tour at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Once again, fans showed up to support, decked out in cowboy boots and hats, some sporting signature Malone signature face tattoos, and many. I'm getting one, by the way. And many more Rockin' Malone merch. Apparently, the show first there were problems with. People didn't know where to go into the stadium. there were lines around the stadium, and everybody was kind of unclear as to where they were supposed to go in. And then it started late, I guess. Really late, like 40 minutes or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
It says, yeah.
Every review of it I read, though, said it was a great show, and people had a good time.
When they finally got to it. And Jelly Roll, Sierra Farrell, and Chandler Walters were the opening acts. And, everybody, I slept through it.
The fireworks didn't wake you up?
No, and I live closer to the stadium than you do, I think.
Yeah.
It didn't wake me up. Gary Oldman, he said, it was a new interview. He said his past alcoholism led to a mortifying moment with a former co-star, Demi Moore.
Ooh.
After being asked if admiration is important to him, Oldman recalled an incident in which he was unprofessional on the set of 1995's The Scarlet Letter after drinking too much while on a lunch break. I think the worst thing you can do is inspire disappointment. I was in Scarlet Letter with Demi Moore, and I had intermittent bouts of boozing during filming. It was towards the end of my drinking where I thought, if I carry on like this, I'm not going to. But he added that he was in a very dark place at the time. He said he ultimately apologized to Demi Moore, whom he starred opposite in the film. He said, I got back to the set to do quite a big scene, and I got through it. You wouldn't really know, but I was quite tipsy. And the next day I said to her, I am so sorry. You must hate me.
Well, at least he apologized.
Oldman recalled being mortified that I'd been so unprofessional, telling the interviewer that Demi Moore reacted with a disheartening reply. She said to me, I don't hate you. It's okay. I'm just disappointed in you.
That's what a mom says.
Yeah. Despite their exchange, the two apparently went on to make amends and have been friends for.
I finally caught up on Slow Horses.
My wife watches that. I haven't watched it really.
Oh, you would like it. You should watch it.
He farts
hear
a lot.
good things.
He farts all the time.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to watch a show about a farting spy.
It's not. That's occasionally that comes up, but it's mostly spy stuff.
I mean, it's weird that they make. I did see a scene.
Yeah.
And it's where they make. It's like what's his name? I forget his name in it. But he'll just cut loose.
Yeah.
And everybody in the office goes, "Oh God!"
Yeah. He's gross.
Yeah.
That's not the only way he's gross. He's gross in many ways.
No. But he's a hell of a spy, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Except, how can you be a stealthy spy if you're farting all the time?
No sneaking around then.
All right, that's all the celebrity stuff I got.
All right. Weather?
A beautiful day, 68 and sunny today. Overnight low 46. Tomorrow also lovely, 77. Saturday 82, so we gradually get warmer. And then we dip back down into the 50s for the first part of next week. And showers Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday, maybe even Tuesday. Things will be a little cooler and a little wetter.
All right. We got reptiles coming in.
Snakes?
Oh, I'm not touching or holding anything. Don't.
Snakes, lizards.
I'm not.
Nobody can make you do that.
Things like that.
I'm not being shamed into. No.
All right. We'll see. Coming
Snakes.
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 Snakes. Snakes.
Snakes.
Snakeskin.
Come on in.
X96, radio from hell.
Well, you might have guessed, or we got snakes in the studio. Snakes. It's time for the Wasatch Reptile Expo again.
You can go to x96.com/live and see snakes.
Yeah, we have Guy and Nick and Megan with us. Or you guys put this on every year?
Yeah, well, this is our 26th year that we've done this show.
Oh, man.
I think we're the second longest running program event that's gone at the Fair Park.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, when is it? It's coming up May 3rd and 4th.
Yep, just this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Now it's really I've been to it a couple of times. It's really amazing. Just the variety of. It's not just snakes, is it?
Yeah, no, we have there's lizards, frogs, tree frogs, and all kinds of amphibians. We have insects. There's also arachnids. So if you wanted to get a tarantula or anything.
My son got a tarantula one year and still has it. Just sits in the cage, doesn't do much.
They're cool to look at.
Yeah, it just sits there.
It's not like a dog that you can handle a lot.
He used to get it out and let it play on his bed and stuff. But I think he's lost interest or something. But he'd handle it quite a bit, and it seemed to not mind that at all.
Yeah, they're it's really interesting. When we first started the show, the reptile community was pretty small in Utah, and now it's gotten pretty large. We have between 3,000 to 5,000 people come to the show over the weekend.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, we've got a bunch of tickets to give away, and we'll give those away. You could start calling for them now, even if you want. 877-602-9696. We'll
while they last.
Yeah, we'll give them away. We got a bunch of them. So,
yeah.
But if you want to go to this show now, tell me about some of the animals you have here.
So this right here this is Mitch, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is Mitch. This is a spider ball python. And this one right here is Bumblebee. She's an albino lemon blast ball python. They are native to Africa.
Okay, can I take one?
Sure.
I don't think of a snake being named Mitch. That doesn't seem like a snake's name.
Road Trip? Here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who is this? Is this Mitch?
No, this is a Bumblebee.
Bumblebee is now trying to hide her head. Oh, there we go. There.
That's why they're called ball pythons.
They like to ball up.
Yeah, they'll actually stick the tail out the top to protect their head.
Oh, I see. Now you got to talk into the microphone, though. We can't hear you.
Yeah, is that because they get cold, or they just
it's a defense mechanism.
Oh,
so
okay.
if there's a predator around, they'll ball up and they'll stick their tail out the top. So if they're going to get bit, it'll be the tail instead of their head.
That's smart move. Smart move. And then what else do we have? What do you have there?
We have an albino.
Get up close to the microphone.
Sorry, gotcha.
Oh, there's one right next to you.
Gotcha. All right, we have an albino Honduran milk snake from Honduras.
That's a really pretty snake.
Normally they're sort of a red and black color, but this one is white and orange because it's lacking melanin because it's albino.
Yeah, it's really a pretty snake. That's a pretty snake.
Yes.
And then you got some salamanders here, too.
Yes.
What was that one, the first one you showed?
This one is a leopard gecko.
Leopard gecko. That is a beautiful little lizard. Really.
Hey, I bought insurance from that.
Geico.
Yeah. Where is that? Where are they native to?
They're from Asia and Middle East.
Oh, I thought they were British. I mean,
that one has a British accent, but yeah,
Australian.
Oh, you guys saved your car.
So reptiles, salamanders, and you can buy these things at the show, right?
Yes, there's pretty much a lot of the vendors you can buy most everything, but we also have educational booths. So if you're not interested in buying something, you can come and check everything out.
Or if you are interested, you could learn everything you need to know about caring for one of those particular animals.
Yeah, if I wanted to buy a ball python like this, how much would that cost me? Probably.
At the show, you probably get it for $50 to $100, probably. Some of them go into the thousands.
And then of course you have to buy the the proper equipment to take care of it, the terrarium or something. Or,
Yes, and everything's available there, and it's from the manufacturers and the breeders, so the prices are way better than you're going to get anywhere else.
This is really a docile snake. I mean, not a lot of activity going on here.
Yeah, it's probably enjoying the warmth of your hand.
Sit in your warm hand. It's a really wonderful show. And then you have, what are some of the unusual things you have there?
Have you seen Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You see the little creature that they do the Crocious Curse on?
I don't know.
It looks a tailless whip scorpion. There's a lot of cool
you've got Katie's attention.
Yeah, and all the animals, like a lot of the colors don't even seem like they would be in nature, but it's amazing. It's so many people are afraid of snakes and that, and when they come to the show and they can get over their fear.
Yeah, it's I think I saw sugar gliders there one year.
Oh, we did have sugar gliders. It's there's a regulation with the Department of Ag. You have to have a FDA license to sell those kinds of things. So it's a lot of people, if they don't have that license, won't allow them to sell.
Yeah, they're really kind of interesting little creatures.
Yeah, they are way cool.
Yeah. So the Wasatch Reptile Expo, it's this Saturday and Sunday.
And we have tickets while they last. 877-602-9696.
It's if you don't get a ticket and you want to get one at the door, it's $12. Or if you want to buy a ticket online, you can get them for $10. And what is the online? It's
the website. What's the
website? WasatchReptileExpo.com.
Yep.
Simple as that.
And then veterans and kids 4 and under are free.
Okay. And what if you're a veteran and you're 4 years old? Then
double free. I guess.
We'll pay you.
You pay them to come in.
Yep.
It's this Saturday and Sunday, Wasatch, or at the State Fair Park, and there's food available there too as well.
Yes, we have food trucks outside. So
it's really great. It's a lot of fun.
Make an afternoon. It's probably one of the cheapest events in the state. Everything's so expensive now. And it's a lot of fun. It's $12. The time is 10 to 6 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday.
All right. Do we still have tickets left to give away? I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. So keep calling if you want them. 877-602-9696 is the number. Guy, Nick, and Megan, and your slithery friends, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
Let's have a full critter count before you leave.
Yeah, make sure you take everything with you, okay?
No promises.
Don't want any leftovers here. All right. We will take a break, play a song. We'll be back after these messages. Stand by. RenaissanceRanch.com.
Yes, if you are struggling with drug addiction or alcohol addiction, there is no finer place you could seek help than Renaissance Ranch. I've met with these people before, and they're really caring, terrific people. They understand addiction because, well, a lot of the people who run the program are recovering addicts themselves, and they really understand the problems that you're having or your family members are having. It's a program designed for male patients specifically, and as I said, staffed by recovering addicts that have great empathy because they understand what's going on. Help really is out there for you or your loved ones. Schedule a free consultation by going to RenaissanceRanch.com. That's RenaissanceRanch.com. And they have a really among the highest success rates in the country at Renaissance Ranch, and a lifetime guarantee, meaning if you somehow fall off the wagon after you've completed the program, you can go back again. They accept most private insurance and Medicaid. Procedure. Scheduled for 10:30. And I wasn't going to talk about it other than to say it was a procedure, but Gina, I think off the air, said to me, or maybe it was on the air, I talked about my hysterectomy.
Yeah, that's personal.
Yeah.
Carrie's had a testicle removed.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it on the air. And I said, okay, I'm having a procedure having to do with my prostate. Now, I won't go into all the details of that because it's just technical and stuff. But I don't have prostate cancer. I have a perfectly healthy prostate. except for it starts to enlarge as you get older. They say men should have a prostate exam probably by about 45, age of 45 is the first one you should. And the doctor just checks to see, is it normal size or is it getting bigger? And they can tell, then they do I think it's a PSA blood test where they can determine if there is are there any cancer cells there and that sort of thing. So anyway, I went to have this procedure. And another reason that I decided was okay to talk about it today and on Friday, I started getting emails from people saying, thanks for talking about this. You know, people are embarrassed to talk about things like this, about their prostates and their other body parts, and we shouldn't be because, you know, these...
It's healthcare.
Here's one email that I got. Thanks for letting me listen. I just moved to Reno in July because my now fiance got into medical school. She started doing face-to-face patient exams that include basic strength tests, neurological, etc. She also started doing more invasive evaluations, like checking the prostate. One thing I did not know is that the school she is in, University of Nevada, Reno, actually hires actors as patients. So she had a new patient and told me as nervously she put her investigative finger in the place where you put it. He immediately corrected her course of action and said, no, you've really got to get it up in there. It was an actor who's
done this
many times. Says so maybe Bill can get back into acting.
Jeez, what's my motivation?
You guys are awesome.
Bill's a prostate exam actor.
I wasn't sure I would be at work today.
Really?
Yeah, because the procedure was painful but bearable. You know what I mean? It's like the doctor will say, okay,
you're going to feel this now.
No, he'll say, okay, I've got to do this one more time, so get ready. Okay, one more time, get ready, you know, and you're going, and there's you've got fortunately the laughing gas, which you have to pay extra for because the insurance company would just as soon have you suffer.
Yeah.
And the laughing gas doesn't do anything for pain. It just makes you not care, really.
And it still hurt, but I was laughing while it was hurting and joking about it. But so when it's over, they tell you to expect lots of different things happening. Blood in your urine.
They were mucking around in there.
You know, blood in your urine, it's normal. It will be normal. It could go on for days. All kinds of... Well, what happened to me, I had a little bit of that, but one thing that happens is frequency of urination.
You haven't gotten any rest, have you?
The first day, I did not. I probably slept 20 minutes at a time all night. Oh God! And what's weird about it is, Carrie. I don't know if it's the same for women, but when you feel the sensation, I have to pee. You can kind of hold it back and sit and go and contemplate it. And
I don't want to get up.
Now, if you do it too long, you'll go, I got to run.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It was just like instant.
It's happening now.
Yeah. And I actually did not make it to the bathroom twice. Ooh. It's terrible. It was just, and so but then yesterday it was quite a bit better, and today I'm wearing my pants where I can just hurry and throw them off.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about
breakaway stripper pants.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about belt buckles or anything like that. And I may have to run out during some portion of the program. You don't know.
Okay.
So if I just disappear while the show is on, that's what's going on.
Now, it might be indelicate, but. Yeah. Why wouldn't you, for a day or two, wear something that would make it not so bad if you didn't make it all the way?
I thought about that. Wear adult diapers
just
or something.
This isn't a permanent thing. Just for a day or two.
So I tell you what I did do. As I left the office, the nurse said, here, take this. There might be some leakage. And it was this little conical thing, that you're supposed to put over your, your junk. And I said, okay. And I did that on the way home, but it didn't do any good. And it kept So when we got home, my wife said, well, here, let's get some panty liners.
I was going to say.
I got panty liners. I said, what? She said, yeah, panty liners. And we put that in, stuck it down on the underwear, and that worked beautifully.
Yeah.
So, but I did think about adult diapers because when I was asleep, And that actually had happened this morning. I almost didn't make it
Yeah.
out of the bed at one point. I just woke up instantly and went to the bathroom, you know. And
But ultimately, when this heals,
yeah, I mean, the procedure is designed to relieve. When your prostate gets bigger, it puts pressure on your bladder, and that causes different problems with urination. So, and it can also, I think it can hasten cancer, or you know. So this procedure just takes the prostate, and so it's not resting on your bladder.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and then you don't, have to get up 5 times a night. And
Yeah.
So, but right now it's like, whew. But I'm amazed. I read all the things, the symptoms, and said expect this to go on for 7 to 10 days, and and I'm really pretty good, except for
that.
Well, and it gets
do you need
better.
to go? Do you need this? We've been
No,
talking for
I just
a while.
went. I just went.
Oh, there we go.
So that's what it was. Oh, by the way, if anybody has any questions that they want to ask me about the procedure or prostate or whatever, just email me, bill@x96.com, and I'll be happy to answer more personal questions via email if you want to do that.
I can tell you wanted to do that, Gary. You're 100% behind that decision.
There you go. That's Doodaloo Doot Doodaloo by Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam's favorite song there. All right.
Well,
let's do the promo and get out of here.
Is it time?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday's show will feature the most beloved Radio from Hell personality.
Yes, it's true. I'll be here.
Not talking about you, Bill. He's talking about Jimmy the wine guy.
Jimmy will be here to answer your booze and hospitality questions starting at about 7:45.
I can answer your booze questions, too. The answer is always yes.
Say yes to the Radio from Hell show Friday morning here on X96.
Always make mine a double.
All right. Fine job as always, Katie. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Stay care, everybody.
Alrighty, fucking is next.
A solid hour of